That's exactly my face, Katie.
Hello, everyone. Wait.
We're
And
waiting.
welcome to the QT.
Hey.
Episode
Save that.
number 17?
Mhm.
17.
We're deep.
And it still
We're deep
feels
in.
it still feels like episode 50 and also episode like 3.
Pretty,
Hard
yeah.
same.
This is episode 17, Reflection.
Reflection.
Yeah, that's when everyone
Reflect.
flexes again, I
Yeah.
think.
Good news for everyone. I've already told the cast this, but I don't have an ad read this week for you.
I don't see how
No.
that's good news.
So you won't have to sit through whatever bizarre mind torture.
Not good news
I
at all.
don't get it. Just repeat the last one, honestly.
It's bad news for two reasons, Sheep, and I'll tell you why. It's bad news because it's fun
Yes,
and it's funny,
yes.
and bad news for a second reason. That means no one paid enough to get you to do it.
Oh, they have. Like there are still few people on the Patreon who have the ability to.
Oh, they just haven't claimed it
they
yet?
haven't claimed it yet. No.
Oh, okay. So it's just
This-
boring then, is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking they're putting in a lot of time into those ad reads. I'm
Yeah,
real
that's a
excited
good
for the
point
effort.
right there. That's a
That-
good
that-
point.
they're
Chat
plan-
GPT
they're
can't
planning.
touch that.
That worries me.
Yes.
So yeah, there's that. And that's knocked me off everything. And hello, this is the Wandering Inn, and the QT. Currently, you only get the one show a week, because I can't afford more than one show a week. If you'd like me to afford more than one show a week, go check out the Patreon. The Patreon is there. You can pledge as little as $3 a month, and it all goes towards paying the costs. Once I have enough to pay all the costs, then I'll do more shows. And as a little bit of a sidebar, I do extra shows anyway. I really shouldn't. I should force you guys into... But we have just finished recording an Alien show. There are 12 episodes coming. They are in production at this point. And it's a really fun, interesting show. Is
Egg.
what I will say. Oh, do I have...
I was gonna ask to see it again because it's so fucking cool, but I didn't want to.
For a moment there, I was like, why the fuck did Katie say egg? And then I'm like, oh, okay.
All right.
Where's Katie?
I just have a
All right,
thing.
egg,
Random
yeah.
thing.
Egg.
So I do have the thing, but it is also the finalized version finally.
Oh shit.
It'll take a moment for me to pull up. So let's.
I love final versions.
Sounds like you're really passionate about this.
Wow.
Versions. I'm
Elf.
really big on final version.
I am.
Okay, there we go.
The last final, definitely final 100%. Definitely not Mark 2.0
Yeah.
final version.
So this is the proper movie poster for the show. This is the Duachroma Outlook. You can see it there. It'll go out on Twitter as well today, possibly after the show. You can see there that
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
hell yeah.
yeah. I originally I wanted it to look. I'm not as good as other people. I wanted it to look like a proper movie poster. And
It really, really does.
Yeah.
A wandering in production. Like I have a boner for that. That looks so fucking sick. It's so slick.
And you may notice
Fabulous.
that we have like editing, music, director of photography. You know, but all of these are not they're not all official. You know, titles, because you can see one thing. We have a best boy, which is Domestic Dan.
Oh my god.
I applaud you, Sheepy, for not making use of the tagline, "Who's this just coming wandering in?" And I'm very happy that you have not made use of that tagline.
I may in the future.
No, please don't.
Yeah, you've planted a seed, LCT.
Yeah, no,
How
I
dare
should
you.
have been quiet. No, never mind. I didn't speak in the last 10 seconds.
But keep in mind that this show is coming. It's been finished and is in now production, and essentially it'll be aimed for when I'm probably making my house move. so that even if there's
Yeah.
even if there's a little like gap in live shows, there'll at least be a show on the YouTube coming out every week. Because I'm moving to a new house at some point, and I'm just waiting for everything to get cleared. And
That's a small venture.
yeah. So yeah.
Speed.
To give, if you're interested and you want to stay up to date, probably the best place to catch shows is go look at the website, wanderingin.net, and over there there's just a list of shows. You can be like, oh, what's this one? Sunkissed. Oh, it's 80 plus episodes of Vampire the Masquerade. Okay, interesting. Additionally, obviously, all the shows that we do will go up there, so it's a nice place to kind of like go look. Because if you go to the YouTube, sometimes it can be a bit of a pain to find, stuff you're looking for.
YouTube is not user-friendly in any way, shape, or form. Even if you try your hardest, like hit a playlist. It's like, oh, did you want something else by someone else? Next? Excellent.
One thing that's interesting is people do sometimes do a playlist of like a super famous YouTuber and their most famous series. So, you got like, I don't know, like PewDiePie's Minecraft series. And they'll make a playlist on it and call it, PewDiePie's Minecraft. So you click on it and it plays through. But then they'll just insert a couple of their own videos. So all of the people going to watch the PewDiePie stuff end up like auto playing through onto their videos as well, and they get a view from it. It's like, that's fucking genius, man.
It is.
Wow.
That's kind of evil mastermind level shit right
I'm
there.
gonna be right back. I smell smoke, and that's not good.
Okay.
Oh god.
Oh. Don't be on fire.
See, I thought
well.
he was gonna say, "I'll be right back. I'm gonna make some playlists."
I know.
So
We were wrong.
the website is down in the chat currently, and I just realized that I haven't done this yet. I need to put the website on all of the video descriptions and stuff. So hopefully by the time you're reading this, but probably not because I'll have forgotten again, there'll be a link to the website on the video as well. So looking down in the description, and if it's not there, shout at me in the comments. There's your excuse for a comment today. Just remind me in the comments on this video that I need to do the website.
Your excuse to nag.
Yeah. So, yes, with that, the Do Akramar Outlook will be out soon. If you want to keep up with it, go and either follow the Twitter if you're interested. Twitter is basically there just to announce stuff for the most part. I don't really do much posting on there aside from show stuff. And the Discord, where I announce shows starting and all that type of lovely things.
It's fine. It's my neighbors starting up the grill, so...
Okay.
We were all pointing out the irony of William setting things on fire.
Yeah. Staring at... Hey, LZ, can you light the barbecue? And me staring at him from the balcony, just staring down at the grill until it catches fire. Like, got it! I didn't want to walk down 3 flights of stairs.
And if you... Sorry, I need to... Yes. And if you if you're interested in like little extra stuff, for example, there is going to be a blooper reel of the recorded show Do Akramar Outlook. Once the full show's been released, there'll be a blooper reel and outtakes on the Patreon. So do consider that. Past that, I think it's way past time we should get into the show. So let's work towards that, shall we, everyone?
I guess we should.
Yes.
I'm ready.
So, last week on the QT, pause while I pull up Mr. Bat's comment.
No, it was only a few things. It's a really short comment this week.
Yeah, it's definitely not 2 whole parts in thousands of paragraphs, seemingly
I love
going
when it's
on
a
for
two-parter.
eternity.
I mean,
Oh, it's fabulous, but we did a big episode. Like, it was rightfully
did.
so. I was ready for that.
the best part of a Mr. Bat comment is when you see him say, "This probably won't be as long as my usual comments."
I know!
And then there's
Yeah.
2 parts to it, and you're like, "Oh, dude, you had more to say than you thought."
You already know it when he says it.
So, last week we had a interesting incident with a lake, I believe.
With the lake?
Wait,
yeah, like
was
with
it-
the lake.
It was last week, wasn't it? Where the thing came out.
No,
of
that was the
Week
the
before
drowning was
last
like
week
the
at Rose.
episode
I'm
before
sorry.
that.
Yeah,
We
I-
started the episode
We
out
started.
in the hospital.
We started in the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of like solved the hospital somewhat with
Yes.
the help of Miss Sex.
Miss Sex.
I'm sorry. That was Katie, not
It's
George.
it's
Bella.
It's very easy
Come
to
on.
remember. Just remember that she's Isabella Bella, but before the Twilight Bella. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bella
Oh.
was a badass.
we
with
met.
her gravity powers or whatever, the weight density powers.
Yeah.
She bust into the scene, basically destroyed the wall that was stopping them from getting out of the weird Egyptian tomb.
Oh, that's what she did? She literally destroyed the wall.
What she actually did is she shifted the density in the sandstone, so it was no longer stone; it was just sand.
Oh, okay.
Which is
Damn.
why when you turned round, it was like sand dropping from the wall, because yeah.
And before we get too far ahead, we did get like a really epic flashback of Cecilia fighting the chupacabra
Yeah.
and like her visualizing claws and shit in her hands and all sorts of it was a lot.
Yes.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
And then Mr. Knight turned up and recruited her to be a spy.
Does she know she's a spy?
Well, I mean,
No.
I think she probably figured it out once you guys went to the graveyard, and then the next
She's a
day the
good little
gravekeeper was
student.
dead
Okay.
Okay.
or,
That's true.
or missing.
She's just learning the better teacher, learning magic teacher stuff. Yeah,
Just the
that's
better
all.
teacher, you know?
Definitely not at all a problem.
No.
No.
And that was highlighted when Mr. Knight and Cecilia were walking away, and the conversation they had was at all not worrying or.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
No one's concerned.
There was no indoctrination or anything there at all. It was-
I've never once been worried about Mr. Knight, even a single time.
No. There's no
No, and
reason
what's
to.
sad is like the indoctrination conversation, if I remember correctly, like had it been someone that wasn't so thirsty for approval, not to say that like in a horrible negative way.
You can
No,
say
no,
that.
no,
You can say that.
It's fair.
Everyone's thirsty for attention, but Cecilia like is quite literally ignored by her parents for the most part and just wants someone to look at her. And so had it been anyone but Cecilia, like I think someone would have seen through his like charm or whatever. But Cecilia was like just went through like seeing her hands turn into claws, and then an adult shows up and is like, it's okay. Just suck the shit in. Like it was really sad kind of
Yeah.
and scary at the same time.
Well, and also Cecilia is the one who was the least accepting of all of this weird shit.
Yeah.
The denial is a strong.
And look, he gave another way. I don't have to use my own powers. He gave
Mhm.
another way.
I was gonna say that next. Yep, he gave her like and he promised you a new spell. I don't know if you've gotten that.
Yeah.
Because it was in the flashback, but she was promised a new spell.
No, it
for
wasn't. It
something.
wasn't in the flashback. It was in the
We didn't see you
actual
get it.
session.
Okay.
It was in the yeah.
Okay,
He was
okay,
like,
okay.
I'm gonna come with me now, and I'll show you how to do this.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Amit was presumably defeated. Essentially, everyone else aside from Cecilia got caught up in the riptide that is Bella, and you ended up learning a few interesting things. She works as kind of like a mercenary odd job kind of person dealing with supernatural issues, stuff like that. She was hired by Mr. Ashford to come help you with the hospital situation in case you needed backup, which you did. And basically gave everyone a few little tips for what they can do and how they can, kind of look at their abilities, their powers.
She was very candid with us.
Yes.
But then she got sus real fast.
Well, I mean, when she was talking to you, she had an Irish accent.
Yep.
And then she didn't later.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's
Sure
real sus,
did.
real
But
fast.
that is unbeknownst to us, right? We weren't there.
It unbeknownst to your character.
Yep,
Very
unbeknownst to us,
sus.
just it was a side scene we got to see, and she suddenly had a southern accent. Hmm.
And I there was a. Sorry, I need to remember what did George and I think George and well, everyone went home, and then in the morning everyone went to school. There was an awkward meeting between George and Cecilia. Pardon me. Between George and Cecilia, where George flipped off Cecilia, and then Will was kind of like, "Hey," but also subtly, so no one else could see.
Yeah.
And I believe Tori didn't go into school because she
Nope.
decided to go into town instead.
Went to the bank instead.
Which is very unlike Tori.
Yes.
Yep.
Extremely unlike Tori. Most of George's scenes were all with Amit, and like I basically interrogated the shit out of Amit, like what is up with all of us and you and everyone.
Yeah.
And then I got a big old crush on her.
In character or out of character?
Yes.
And
Oh, and Will learned how to set things on fire.
yes.
Yeah.
We kind of joked about that at the beginning, but Will literally, like, I had written down, like, Will staring at a table
Yeah.
trying to set a gum wrapper on fire, and in his mind, like, the world is ablaze and everything's crackly around him, and in real life, it's like,
He did manage
The-
after some concentration to set
after
the
we're all
bed on
not paying
fire.
attention,
The
yeah.
most extravagant way of lighting a smoke ever. Staring at it until it lights up.
Oh, that would be a cool scene, like flash forward 10 years in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's
Will-
happening. That's.
Will's-
I mean, even
Will's
if he
in,
doesn't
like,
smoke.
Will's in like a heavy like rain jacket, and it's like raining a little bit. There's a dude like
Oh, like a duster, yeah.
like a duster. There's a
Oh, yeah.
dude under an umbrella with an unlit cigarette, and then you hear this like clop clop clop. Like Will walks out of the darkness and is like, "Hey," and then the cigarette just lights by itself, and then they start talking.
That would
or
be fucking sick.
or the best ever. You got a light? No, but I can do. Fucking stare at it.
Oh, if it was Will, he'd totally like take the cigarette out of the guy's mouth, hold it up in front of him, and then just go. like this, like
Wait, and
5
then-
minutes.
And then like say like, "Oh, can you please turn around?
I
It's
can't
it's
do it
harder
while
when
you're
someone's
watching.
I'm
looking."
gonna manifest the eye.
Suddenly the poor dude sets on fire, and Will's just sitting there holding the cigarette,
or
crying.
even like this is a few years in the future, right? So the thing has progressed a little bit. So Will take the cigarette, stick it in his ear, and take it out, and it's on fire.
Shut up! Like those things that used to be in cars back in
Yeah,
the day.
exactly.
Oh, dearie B. Okay, so yes, Will
Oh, that's great.
Will learned that like more so his abilities are based on emotion and passion. Essentially, if he can manage to harness his emotions, he can do things like set things on fire. George learned that she can actually basically dislocate her jaw, but not even that, just kind of like extend her mouth to the point where she can swallow people whole, pretty much.
I look like a snake in reverse.
Yeah. And I think it's something that that Tori had already maybe started to consider, but Tori also learned that she can implant commands into people and basically like leave directives with them.
I love setting up triggers.
Yeah.
What was I had the wordage. It was like lay. It
Impulse, I think.
was lay a command. So
I
like
mean, George-
a long-standing, like something they wouldn't do immediately, something that's just like effervescent in their life forever. Like if someone
I made
asked their
George
name,
bark
they
like
would.
a dog.
That's true.
Pleasure.
So, with all of that in mind, we will start in the morning before school and before everything else, in the QT, actually in Quail Town, quite close to the school, in one of the parks. One of the parks we've seen before, there is a tight clumping of trees overlooking and in the backdrop of the skate park. Reasonably early in the morning, it's still misty, it's still raining a bit, and looking out over this park area, we see a little bit of morning dew on the grass and on the skate park, kind of blanketed over the town, and the little twinkles of, you know, little sunlight off little dewdrops of water, one of which is moving. As people are slowly waking up and walking to work, a few people are walking up and down the road next to the skate park. One of whom is a postal worker, delivery, walking around with some delivery bags going on their route, and that little moving twinkle snakes through the grass out around the skate park over a jump or two, and then slowly creeps up behind him as he's walking to work and to his deliveries and whistling, and reaches him, and he stops whistling, and he stops walking, and he stands stock still for about 2 seconds, 3 seconds. And then he turns and he walks back the way the strange light twinkling was going, and we see him walk through the grass and into the woods. And he doesn't come back out. Later on, we find ourselves in the school. And my question here is, the school day today is reasonably there's not too much that happens on the school day. So first up, for the three of you who are at school, is there anything you do, anything you want to do? I know there was the interaction, but
I was gonna say Will would probably try to at least see if he can schedule a meeting with Ashford for like continued studies in the field of becoming a badass, or and if that's not available, he might try to see if there's a chess club thing, because he still enjoys chess. That wasn't forced upon him. He still likes that. It's just that everything else of his personality was forced upon him.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get to that momentarily.
So, I also have a first idea coming up, but it's not something I'm doubting about it, and I think Cecilia would ask that tonight. So it will depend if she would see him throughout the day. She could ask it then. But basically, in her head right now, it's like he said, "Oh, you don't need to pretend anymore. You're not working with Ashford anymore. You're just working with me now." So in her head, it's polite to go to Ashford and basically be dismissed, or like just like go to him and say like, "Hey, yeah, so it was like it was
Can I be excused?
Great, maybe not
It
so
was
great.
it was great working with you, Mr. Ashford.
Maybe great, not so great, but like I can't anymore. So like it was fun while I lasted, but thank you, bye. Like that kind of thing. It's like in her head that's like, oh, but it's the polite thing to do. But I guess because this is like there's also like this bigger scheme of things going on that she doesn't fully grasp. It's something that she would first like say tonight, like, hey, would it be polite for me, or would it be like well mannered and well received if I would go and basically be dismissed by Ashford?
Okay. Well, in that case, what we will do, considering these things, is we'll actually go to your lesson with Mr. Ashford today.
Ooh.
So, CC, George, and Will, you are all at the lesson, and today's lesson is essentially the majority of it touches on the Pearl Harbor, what happened after Pearl Harbor, and kind of like the Pacific War for the USA. And there is a point where Mr. Ashford says, "Now, is anyone aware of the Battle of Midway?" The Battle of Midway was the turning point for the USA in the Pacific War in World War II. Now, the Battle for Midway is a place where the US set up a trap for the Japanese Navy. And both sides, once the trap was sprung, sent out their bombers and their torpedo planes to try and take out the enemy aircraft carriers. Okay, so the most important piece of the fleet, both Pacific fleets, were the aircraft carriers. Whoever managed to take out the aircraft carriers would most likely win the war. And the Battle of Midway was the turning point in the war where it became clear that the Japanese would lose. Now, what happened during the Battle of Midway is the Japanese lost a couple of carriers, their fleet was dealt a blow from which they never recovered, and the entirety of World War II was pretty much set in stone, inevitable at that point. And how that happened was a captain who was out looking for the Japanese fleet with his dive bombers. The torpedo bombers had already gone out. The majority of the torpedoes either missed or, even if they hit, did not explode, did not do any damage to the Japanese Navy. Nearly all of them were shot down. The last chance for the US Navy in this engagement were the dive bombers, and they could not find the Japanese Navy to deliver their bombs to destroy the important aircraft carriers. So this captain was low on fuel with his squadron, out in the Pacific with no idea of where the enemy was, and had to decide whether to turn back or not. In the end, he decided to stay there until the last possible moment to search for the Japanese Navy. And just when he was about to decide to turn back, he saw a rainbow on the sea. It was a Japanese destroyer that had been separated from the pack sending water shooting out from the top side of its deck. And so, the dive bombers decided to follow it back as it went back to the main Japanese Navy and managed to find it, and the squadron managed to do irrevocable damage to the Japanese carriers, and essentially that one decision by one person made the entire Pacific War change, because one person decided to stay a bit longer. They managed to find the Navy and they managed to destroy the carriers. And it's interesting that an entire theater of war can be so heavily dictated by the choice of one person, and by what is essentially random chance. There's no way to predict the future or to predict things that haven't happened, but it's entirely possible that the entire Pacific War could have changed if that squadron had not found the main Japanese fleet. And
Also, Celia's thinking at this moment is just like that she was waiting. Like the first comment she was gonna make is like, it's just pure luck as well. But then like he says that like pure chance, and she's like, oh well, like in her head she's like, oh well, happy you said it at least.
Yeah.
But it's showing maybe on her face, but she's not saying it.
Yeah. And he kind of picks back up and talks about and talks about the later engagements and things. The Japanese Navy was never done. It wasn't completely destroyed. It just took a hit it couldn't recover from. So there are other battles, and he goes over those ones as well, and things like that. And essentially, at the end of that lesson, there is a opportunity for any who wants to stay behind and talk to him to stay behind and talk to him. I shouldn't put away the glasses. I'm sure at least Will wants to talk to
Oh yeah, well,
Mr. Ashford.
Yeah.
God, now I have to decide if I stay as well.
Also, let's remember it's Will. He's still pretty timid, so if you just want to talk first, he's not gonna interrupt you.
No, but she won't do that. Yeah, no, she won't do that now, like, just between classes and stuff. She's not gonna do that. So, like, she thinks about it, then, like, she just
There's like
leaves.
there's like a second where everyone's
Yeah.
walking out, where she like stops and she's like, no, go.
Yeah, she's like, and then she, like, continues walking into the hallway.
George wants to talk to Ashford, but when she like looks up from her desk and sees that Will is approaching the desk, she'll probably just plop her head back down and like half asleep and wait for it just to be over.
I love that. Oh, I get another couple of minutes.
Yeah, just kind of like one of those like cat moments, like oh,
Wake me
hell
up
yeah.
when we're leaving.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Has everyone left now except for George?
Everyone but George, yeah.
Yeah. Will probably walk up to Ashford and be like, Mr. Ashford, I was wondering if we could schedule another one of those little talks we have. You know, because I've done the recommended reading. And I was wondering if you have any more recommendations or general tips or anything like that.
Yes, we should go over the some of the more niche aspects. So if you go to the library, there should be a book in there that is called, I don't know the exact name, something about demon summoning. So go to the library, find that, and then come to my office after school. We'll go over the basic details of these type of books and how they work and why they work.
Do you remember the author? Okay. Thank you. And then you walk out and like tap on George while we while he walks past.
What? No, I didn't. Oh.
Leaving.
George, you ate your desk. Wake up.
George. Falls over as she's inhaling it.
I could have sworn there
can't.
were
You ate
17
the
chairs
entire
in here. What the fuck
class.
happened?
You ate the class.
Means no test, right? Okay. What are we doing? She like probably like holds Will and follows him half asleep out the door.
Didn't she want to talk to Ashford?
She did, but she's gonna stop at the door and forget. I
Okay.
mean, she wants to ask about the lady.
Yeah.
So she'll probably, she'll probably like, half asleep, get to the door, and then like stop Will and be like, wait, you asked about the lady.
No. If you want to.
Yeah, what? Can I ask you, some large woman saved us from an apparent death god. Is that real?
Amit.
That,
Is the god of death real? There are many.
no, the lady. What was her name?
Bella.
What, Bella? There's a Bella? Isabella.
Isabella,
There's a
yeah.
Bella.
Irish.
Did you actually send that Irish lady with the big shoes?
Yes. She's
So that was-
actually in town to deal with another issue, but seeing as she's here, I
She was
decided
very
to.
helpful.
She has a tendency to be so.
She
Very
said
helpful.
y'all are gonna get the thing in the mines?
She's going to. I'm probably able to deal with it, but it's something that I find a little bit more tricky. So, plus there's so much to do here, I thought having an extra pair of hands would probably help.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure those hands weren't like doing creepy shit like literally every other adult in the school. So thank you. That was it, I guess. Oh, she kind of taught us some stuff and like tore my face off my face and put it on the ground and then put it back. And like Will combusted a table. Don't look at me that way, it's fine. Will combusted a table.
What
Okay,
color was
I
the
did, I
flame?
did set a table on fire.
What color was it?
Flame. Oh, right, wasn't it? Or was it
Flame color? I don't remember. Was it a weird flame?
asking Sheepy now? What was
Yeah, it was just a regular
It? Yeah.
kind of orangey
Yeah,
yellow.
just regular flame.
Look normal.
Should be fine.
Is it fine that I...
What color should it have been?
Orange, yellow, regular flame color.
Okay, yeah, it was.
So is there like a chart where we should worry?
Yeah, when it gets to which part of the spectrum should we take note?
If you come and see me if your flame ever turns blue.
Okay.
Well, that's not ominous at all.
A little bit.
All right. That's... I don't have to worry about anything, right? Like that.
Dislocating your jaw.
Yeah, that one.
It merely means that you'll be able to deal with problems a little bit easier.
I'm not going to accidentally eat anything. Right?
I hope not.
And as she pushes Will through the door, I'm gonna fucking eat you, bro.
Oh, please don't.
Starts sweating. Yeah. And she'll just wide-eyed walk out the room with Will.
Been
just like,
eating so much you start to
"Okay."
sweat grease.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how we got Chef Jeff. Little did we know he was not a chef.
So you both walk out, and Mr. Ashford is left to himself in the classroom. You all I'm assuming, going to carry on school and you know.
Yeah, usually Ashford's class isn't it at the end of the day? That's why we always like stay late and say something extra. So we'd probably head to the skate park and do our normal. I would assume.
It depends. This was actually before lunch, so.
Oh, sick.
Oh my.
Yeah, I don't think I had anything I wanted to do at school specifically. Stay away from Mr. Knight.
I'm not there, so
Yeah, you're
nothing
not
for
there.
me.
Yeah, Tori not being there. I don't know if that would even be on our radar. On my radar, at least. Like, it's just odd. Unless I overheard people, like, talking about it because it's so
during
weird.
lunch, we already had lunch, right?
Yes.
And we had the whole conversation at the table. So it could be that you, like, picked up some of the, like,
That's what I'm
very
saying.
loud, big group talking about it.
Who is probably still talking about it.
I would say also, it's virtually impossible, even for George or Will or anyone, to not notice that Tori isn't there.
Right, because it's abnormal and she's like a standing.
She stands out in school, and her being there every day, you know, it's like suddenly missing a finger. It's kind of impossible not to notice that something that you see every day and you know is there every day is suddenly gone.
I don't know if I'm in the right mindset to talk to Cecilia about it. Because that's normally who I would approach.
You need to decide that all by yourself, honey.
You know,
I would
it's rough.
my feel on it would be like considering the interaction earlier at the beginning of school. I doubt you'd be like, "Hey, bitch," like.
Nah.
But then again,
and then
but
like
then
turn up and be like, "Hey, where's Tori?"
But then again, I do feel like George has this thing of where if she's in a situation where she feels like she doesn't have the information or like someone else would be like have better sense of the situation or something like that, like she would begrudgingly like go into an interaction, but
100%.
that doesn't have to be today. That can be after class. Like you decide that all by yourself. I just see both as valid options.
No, I would see her doing the same. Like, she would be pissed that she has to approach you and almost approach you like very plastic. You know, like what happened earlier didn't happen because now she needs you real bad and she knows she was kind of a bitch about it. So like, hey, Cece, you look good. Notice Tori's gone. The most like manic smile possible. She'd probably do something like that, but it'd probably be like after school, like as everyone's leaving the school kind of thing, like find her in the parking lot or something, not attack her.
Yeah.
In the school.
I for one am not planning to approach anyone at this point. So after lunch, just classes, and I would assume, like, so normally she has like the after school, like maybe she would practice foreign languages.
Yeah.
But because Knight asked to drop by, she will do that. And she'll practice her languages if they have to drive somewhere in the car. It's fine.
That's wonderful. Just whips flashcards out at any given time.
Yes.
So I would say, as you walk into his classroom, he's there and he's kind of writing in his book and everything.
She politely knocks.
Cecilia, good. Do come in. Yes.
Thank you. She like walks in, closes the door, has her backpack on, and like waits for a second.
One thing you do know and you do notice is that his demeanor is slightly different at school than it is when you've like met him outside of school to practice and talk about the more secretive stuff. In school he's a bit more, not bumbly, but he's a bit light. He's a bit lighter, a bit more kind of genial,
Jovial.
Yeah. But once you close the door and you sit in, like his demeanor changes a little bit. He kind of gets a bit more serious and he says, "How is the new incantation progressing for you? Have you got a handle on it?
Oh, well, it's not. It's not a very easy one to practice during school hours. But I tried it on like a little rat. No, actually, would
I don't. Yeah, I was
no,
gonna say,
she
would
wouldn't do that. She wouldn't do that. No,
Like-
so let me
like
let
a-
me get back to that.
Yeah, like a Coke bottle or something, maybe.
Oh, you can do. Oh yeah, shit. You can just use it on anything. Not even. Oh,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be living objects. Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say, I don't even think even if it was just living, Cece's instinct wouldn't be to think
Yeah.
living first.
Yeah. No,
Like
that's
she's
what I
such
said.
loves animals and stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's what I said. Okay, great. No, then she would say like, I tried it on like a bottle once, and it went pretty good. So I'm sure I'll get the hang of it even more if I have more time to practice. Speaking about that, do you is it polite for me? I want to go to Mr. Ashford and say that I'm not working with him anymore. I can't just leave and not say anything, right? Like it's not polite of me, right? I don't know.
It should be fine. Especially seeing as you were never really with them in the first place. Remember?
Right. Right, I just thought it would be well-mannered and just at least nice to give that gesture. But if you, now that you say it like that, it's not needed. Yes. No.
Their intentions are good, but the way they go about these things are inefficient and a little bit too rose-tinted.
Absolutely. Yes, they, you are way more effective at dealing with these things.
It's important to protect people.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it is.
And
Um,
I believe when you dealt, and he actually raises his hands and does the inverted commas with his fingers. When you dealt with the creature in the church, you handed it over to him?
yes.
It'd be much
We did.
better to just destroy it so that no one else could be hurt by it.
What did Ashford do with it back then?
He put it in some like jar thing.
Oh, it just locked it up.
He flattened it and then put it in like a container. Yeah, I remember he
Yeah,
like
okay.
snaps his fingers and can't remember what he said, but it like just
Yeah, all right.
flattened.
He said, "Wait."
Well, I mean, it's he locked it up, but I guess the danger is not really gone that way.
No, especially if it gets out or is released. We don't know what he's doing with any of the ones that you've captured for him. They remain a danger.
And now that you mention it, he does seem, maybe he has a full collection of all of the things just waiting to unleash them.
We have an agreement not to interfere with each other for now, but I do not trust him. That's part of the reason why I asked you to keep an eye on him and what he's teaching the other kids.
Well, yeah. Well, I can't speak for Ashford, because you clearly know him way better than I do, but the other kids aren't doing anything bad, at least.
Oh, I'm sure they're not.
Speaking about other kids.
Mm.
Uh, could I maybe ask you, if there is any progress on anything regarding Rodney and the dead rising?
Yes. I believe I'm getting close. We should be able to nullify the danger presented to your friend Rodney in the next couple of days. I just need to lock down the location.
Oh, okay. All right.
Don't worry, we won't let anything happen to him.
Yeah. I just want to protect people and yeah. All right. Great. Bank.
The bank, yes.
Yes, what and she like goes to sit down and she just says like what do I need to know?
From what I'm aware, there is some supernatural creature or entity inhabiting the bank to the point where it has claimed it as its own territory. When a entity creates a territory, it becomes it makes the area itself its own world, its own place, much like the fake god that you met.
Yes, he did. They changed the hospital to like the crypt.
It allows them to isolate and to prey on people. We believe the same thing has happened to the bank, and so we'll be going there to essentially cleanse the place.
So like another god, or can just any creature do that?
It is dependent on the creature, but I do not... None of them are actually gods. They are entities, supernatural in nature, unrealistic, unreal in being, unpredictable, dangerous in nature.
I think like hearing him talk so confidently about that and just like you know where Cecilia has these questions and Liz like, oh well, like this or like this, and he just like says like, no, it's like this and this and this and this, and she just like there's this moment of like, wow. And she's like, oh okay.
I think today is the perfect time for you to test yourself. I will come in a overseeing capacity, but you should see how far you can take yourself now when it comes to cleansing and destroying these beings.
All right, yeah. If you believe in, if you believe that I can do it, then yeah, yes. I will be able to do it.
You've been practicing.
Yes.
You're especially good at the protection incantations. So you should at the very least be able to secure yourself from any harm. If not, I will be there and I can always step in.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
You do need to work a little bit more on the banishment destruction side of the incantations. You need to really believe and really mean it.
Yes, I will. I will practice on it.
Well, we'll see how you do in the field. And he picks up his arm and looks at his watch. He says, I think now would be a good time to head out.
Yes. We haven't. What time?
No time like the present.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant that I had to head out the classroom. Yes. No. Okay. Good. I do have, because we're doing this like right now, and I didn't have time for my after school activities, so I'll be practicing my languages a bit in the car. But I hope that's okay.
Which languages?
Multiple ones, but currently mostly French and Spanish.
We can have some conversations as we go. I'll test you on your incantation knowledge.
That would be great. All right, yeah.
Just let me know which languages you need to test and practice. I can probably help.
Yes. Thank you. Then I will do that in the car.
Okay. And he stands up, and you both leave.
Yes.
And we fade out on the school, and we fade into Tori.
Mm-hmm.
When last we left you, you had attempted to... This bank manager lady had basically pulled up what appeared to be like glass walls, and you went into her office, and then when you left, everything was glass and dark, like low light.
Don't worry, I have another plan, Sheepy.
Okay. And
For blue.
you attempted to like command her.
I mean, I tried the command, I tried some threats. Now we're gonna try a different approach.
And when you did, she essentially was like, and then like absorbed herself into the floor, which kind of like rippled and...
So standing there, basically by herself in this environment, because this person has disappeared, Tori calls out, I'm sure you can probably still hear me, so let's try a different method, yeah? The thing you're doing here, really great. Love it. But I'm sure there's something you want. I'm right here. I can do things that you can't do. I'm 100% sure of that. So let's talk about that $25,000 and what it's going to cost me.
And from the floor, a kind of glassy, it looks like a mix between kind of glass and water. Like the figure of a person starts to rise out of the floor, except for it's completely see-through. It's completely that kind of like shimmery glass water kind of figure until it forms and it takes on the persona, the looks of a human person, of this woman that you saw when you first entered her office. And she stands there as she forms, and then once she's formed into a fully person-looking thing, she no longer has that glass like sheen to her or watery sheen to her. Just looks like a regular person again. She says, "Go on."
We can make this a lot more civil, you know? We both went at it the wrong way to start, I think. We could be friends.
What were you trying to do earlier?
Trying to do? Get money from a bank, which is where you are.
Yes. but you were trying to work some form of power. I couldn't figure out what it was.
People who aren't things like you, and even some people who are, have to do what I tell them. Apparently not you, though. Interestingly enough.
So you have the ability to compel people to do what you say?
Pretty much. If I'd just gone up to one of your tellers and demanded that they give me the money, then that would have been much easier, I think. I was trying to be polite, though.
I'm not sure it's really an attempt to be polite.
To appeal to an authoritative figure? I don't know. Don't want to get your employees in trouble. You're in charge.
It's a reasonable point. Although you would have gotten me in trouble had I not been me.
Yeah, but you would have managed okay.
Can I ask, what was the strange smell?
Oh. Well, usually it's sea, salt, the ocean, you know, water stuff.
Is that something that has persisted all the time?
As much as I love having this conversation, we could have it not in the mirror universe or wherever we are, and it would be a lot more pleasant for me. Happy to answer, but maybe we could bring this back to a civil sort of setting, you know?
Not quite yet. Not until we have formed some sort of agreement. With respect, I don't completely trust you yet.
That's wise. You shouldn't.
And what you can do is a little bit concerning. If I bring you back to outside of my territory, you could compel all of my workers to attack me.
Absolutely. Or gouge their eyes out, like I said 5 minutes ago.
Like you said.
But if we come to an agreement, I'm amenable. She says, definitely not lying 100%.
I have no direct investment in destroying you as things stand.
I'm sure you have a direct investment in gaining more territory, however. That would be nice, wouldn't it? More space for your, I don't know, whatever this is, whatever you do.
It has occurred to me that maybe a larger area, a bit more out of the way, would suit me very well. Currently, a few other beings have been destroyed, and I'm worried that being here in the middle of town is a bit circumspect.
What about somewhere like a motel? Lots of people coming and going, but kind of on the edge of town. Not really a problem. Lots of pass through, lots of rooms, lots of interest, but not so central as a bank where, you know, humans, I assume you're not one, consider a lot of their resources to be positioned.
Lots of mirrors,
Lots of mirrors.
lots of places to hide.
So many. Lots. tons. I know just the place. It's on the northeast side.
Intriguing.
And I mean, whatever's there already, if there's something there already, we can handle it. Surely. Relocate. Whatever it is.
Your offer is tempting.
My offer is one you're not going to get very often. But we're in a unique circumstance here. I need something from you. I can help you out. And the threats didn't work in the direct, I respect that we got here from a position of hostility.
One that you opened.
Start strong. That's what my mother always told me.
You must have an interesting mother.
Some people would say so.
I would like your guarantee that you do not try that again if I am to bring us out of this territory.
Well, it clearly didn't work the first time. I don't see why it would work the second.
A good point. However, if you decide to try again, what do you need from me?
$25,000.
That can be arranged. If
Just
I'm
put it in.
moving on as well.
Just before we go, put it into the account that we already set up, remember? And we'll make it disappear.
Very well. We can return. You can compel one of my employees, tellers, to transfer the money, and then a little bit more to rent out the motel.
The account will be empty in a couple of hours after that, so I don't think it'll be going anywhere.
And then I can move on.
Sounds good. I'm
And
glad we could come to an arrangement.
she walks towards you and holds out her hand.
Is this really a handshake sort of thing? No offense, I don't know what you do, and touching you could be dangerous.
Very well. We have an agreement. Please, come back to my office. And she turns and walks towards this, big cubicle of, blacked out, glass. And opens the door and steps to the side and holds the door open.
Yeah, Tori goes through into the office.
You walk into the office and you're presented with the woman sitting in the chair.
Yeah, back to normal, sort of.
The place is still as it is, and the woman is also still holding the door open, as well. And
Okay.
the one in the chair says, "All right," and the one holding the door closes the door, and the glass slowly shifts back to a more see-through, not blacked out. You start to see the as it drops, the bank shifts back into what is essentially reality. There's not really anyone here. There's a couple of people working in offices, and then there's the teller who's working on there as well. And the bank manager says, "And here we are, back."
Well, now that we're here, if there's anything else you want to ask me. Otherwise, I'll see to our mutual business.
No? Just make sure to take out a little extra so you can rent a room for a few months, and then I can leave here, finally.
Just a couple minutes, she says, and like turns around to leave the manager's office and head over to one of the tellers.
You walk out, you walk up to one of the tellers, who says, like the ding goes back on, and when you walk up, she says, "Hello, I'm Joyce. How can I help you?"
Hi, I just opened a new account and I'm looking to transfer some money in.
Okay, I'll need your details and where the money is coming from.
The account is under Jane Smith, and you will transfer $25,000 from anywhere that you don't think it'll be missed, and a little extra, enough for a motel for a couple of weeks.
Of course. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. A little bit of time passes as you stand there. And she looks up.
By the way, just something else. 10 minutes from now, you'll forget this entire interaction ever happened.
Of course. Okay. Everything has been transferred over, and she hands you the account info, bank card or whatever it is. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, thanks. That's everything. Have a nice day.
You too.
Then she goes back towards the walking past the manager's office. She sort of gives a little nod to the manager as she's leaving, expectantly, and then heads out.
Yeah. And you walk out the bank. The manager kind of gives you a very slight nod back. And as you walk out the bank, you hear, "Well done."
See, I knew you were just waiting for me to take the initiative. You said you'd come back with something, but I've been waiting.
I had a few ideas. I was trying to decide which one would be the most amusing. Couple of elderly couples. Some blue-collar workers. People we can skim some money off.
Tori takes the bank card that's related to the account out of her purse and hands it to Bertrand. And she says, "PIN number's 1638. Easy enough. There's all your money."
And the extra?
That's for our friend in the bank. They're gonna move to the motel on the northeast side.
I'll arrange it.
She seems like the kind of person who might be useful.
Could be. Why
Some
didn't...
sort of mirror universe, something or other.
Water?
Seemed like it.
Why didn't you compel her?
Didn't work the first time. And I found that trying again just makes people angry.
Well, if you want to in the future, make sure you are talking to the right body, and you should be fine.
Oh, good to know.
You help
keep
me,
that in-
I help you.
I'll keep that in mind for next time. So, are we, square?
We are square.
Good to know. Ah, it's nice to be free of any supernatural debts.
My debt is a lot less difficult than others. As long as I make some money, I'm fine.
I was just, getting impatient.
So, what are you going to do now?
I don't know. School day will be over soon. No point going there. It's a good question.
You're not going to join your friends and help save people and protect the innocent from the...
What about me makes you think I care about the innocent?
Just wondering if you were going to.
Maybe, if they ask me nicely. I'm not saying I don't like them. I mean, George and I, we've been friends before, and Cecilia seems fine, and Will is basically a harmless wimp, so...
You haven't entertained the idea of inserting yourself and taking over, making them do what you tell them to?
Ashford's in the way.
That is very often a problem.
Because I could. It wouldn't even be hard.
No. Aside from Ashford being in the way.
Which is why I don't. But the bank manager, whoever they are, or whatever, said something interesting about, territory, an area to call their own, And I'm wondering if that's something that all of these kinds of creatures have, all of the purely supernatural types. You pick somewhere and stick around it.
Some of them less so.
I'm wondering what it's all going to look like in a few years.
Hopefully around about the same as this. But then again, it could just be a big hole in the ground.
Well, I mean, I'd prefer not, but... Anyway, something to keep in mind, maybe, for myself. I don't know. This power's opened up a lot of avenues for me. A lot of choices to make that I wasn't expecting to have to make. You think about what you're going to do after school, and you don't think about it in the context of having a power that can make anyone do anything you want.
Without them
Bella
even
mentioned
realizing.
Bella mentioned assassinating people, and I didn't write that off.
Isabella?
Yeah, she showed up at the hospital.
It's probably best not to listen to her if you can avoid it.
Why is that?
She didn't choose the best path.
Everybody else kind of says the same thing about you, so...
Well, neither did I.
Actually, I wonder, Bertrand, now that we're not, indebted, it didn't work there's a moment of it didn't work the last time passing through her head, but she's like, maybe I can compel him now? You know what I mean? Maybe? And I think she just says, tell me why Ashford is so dangerous. But she does it as a compel. But it also comes off as it could just be a question, right?
No.
Worth a try.
The reason it doesn't work is because I don't believe you.
You don't believe me?
Your words have no weight inside me.
Would it work on Ashford?
Time. Come into your power a little bit more. Maybe.
How about the other two? I mean, Knight's got some kind of magic?
I'm not too familiar with him. We've had a meeting and agreed to stay out of each other's way for now. Isabella
And-
is less forgiving. I would not try it with her unless you would like to find out what it's like to be able to travel to the center of the earth.
Fair enough.
As a parting gift, and thank you for the money paid, have you considered trying the lake?
Not a bad suggestion. I'll head up there. I've got nothing else to do today.
If you do, say hello to the denizen in it. I'm sure he'll be pleased to meet you.
We'll have a little chat. If you need anything, Bertrand, you can ask.
And vice versa. Ooh. And he, like, extends out his hand and his fingers in kind of like a plaintive gesture. You can return the coin now.
If you really want it back. But don't you want to know what I'm up to?
You can also keep it if you like.
I think I'll keep it. Just, souvenir.
Well, it was nice working with you.
To our future endeavors.
Well,
Don't be a stranger.
see you later then, Miss Whitlock.
And she turns to head off to the parking lot of the bank,
Yeah.
get in her car, and head
And
off.
he also turns, walks off in the other direction. What now, Tori? The school's probably just about starting to finish.
Lake.
You going Lakeaways?
Let's go, Lake.
All right.
Should I bring anyone? Should I go collect anyone first?
It is. School is going to be out soon, so you could go.
Maybe I'll swing by and
Get in,
Shanghai
losers.
George. Yeah.
Or going to
Shanghai
the lake.
George and Will and go to the lake.
You are a free agent, so
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm in a good mood. Tori's in a good mood.
okay.
Success.
In that case, I think we will. Yeah. For now, we will head forward a little bit in time. To. Cecilia and Mr. Knight. Pulling into a parking spot nearby the bank, and Mr. Knight parks up and says, "Okay, are you ready?"
You're coming inside with me, right?
Yes. However, I will be an observer unless needed.
Oh, all right, yeah. Yes, yes. I'll be great.
Yeah.
She seems nervous.
Just remember what I've taught you. And it should be fine. And also remember that if it gets too dangerous or if it looks like things are going badly, I can always step in. Think of this as a chance to practice and a chance to experience the danger without actually having to face the danger.
Right. Face, yes. Face it but not experience it. Got it. Yes. So do you usually go into these things not knowing what's in there?
Well, before I had you to tell me what to expect. With the Gravekeeper and others.
All right. And like banishment only works when people are down and they won't be able to resist anymore, right?
In general, yes. Unless they are of a weaker sort. The small creature that your friend has in her house, I believe, would be easily banished. But at the same time is also less of a concern.
Of course, because it's not actually hurting people and it's not that big of a presence.
No. So far as we know, it has not started yet to actively hunt anyone.
All right. Yes. We should probably get out of the car and get in there. And she's like nervously fidgeting with her hands a bit, but she like tries to hide it behind her back and tries to not show that. Because in her head, this is like, oh shit, this is the first time I am, well, technically not facing a supernatural thing alone, but kind of facing a supernatural thing alone. And so like in her mind it's like one side of her is trying to focus on like, okay, so he taught me this and this and this, and I will be fine. I'll the incantations will be enough and it'll all be fine, and like he won't have to interfere and stuff. But then like part of her like is like, oh shit, but what if like the first time you just lose control? And she's like, no, it's gonna be fine. I'm not facing this alone. Like, yeah. So she holds her hand behind her back and they're fidgeting.
And he gets out of the car and walks around to the other side, opens the door for you, and you both, I'm assuming you get out.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
You both walk up to the doors of the bank, it's darker now. It looks like the bank is either closed or about to close, it's around that time.
Yes.
And he goes into his little bag that he's got with him, pulls out a couple of what essentially are post-it notes, and lays one on one side of the door, walks over to the other side of the door, lays one on the other side of the door. The post-it notes have weird squiggles and symbols and those type of things, and the door to the bank, which is predominantly glass. It's got a framework with glassy, typical store doors, and they, after he puts the post-it notes on both sides, they shift and turn to a dark, black, completely opaque glass.
Is it locked as well?
No. This will give you access to its territory.
He says this. I see you extending a hand, but he's not holding anything. He just means the post-its on the door, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Access. So are we already in there, or do I need to go through the door again?
You need to go through the door.
Oh, but from the side.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Great. Yeah. I've got this. All right. And she goes to the door and pushes it open.
You push the door. It does that dingle dingle of shop doors everywhere open. Oh yeah, doors everywhere opening, and you step in to the mirror world. Tori, I believe you were going to the school.
I was.
Yes.
So, I don't know if you heard this while you were away, Katie, but we're going to the lake. I'm coming to.
I did.
Coming to ambush George and Will and bring them to the lake. You're coming with me, you nerds.
So just to say, also assume, Katie, that you said that George would try to intercept Cece when she would be leaving school. Just assume that for some reason, you didn't see her leave school.
Yep. I wrote that down too. I assumed I probably went out and you went off in his car, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume you saw her walking with Mr. Knight and were like, nope.
Yep, I literally said I beelined the other direction, was like,
Big
not today.
Motherfucking no way.
Which is hilarious because then I'm literally beelining into an ambush by Tori, my second favorite person.
I imagine you were hanging outside and you're like, screw this, I'm gonna go find Cece. And you walk back inside the school, see Mr. Knight with Cecilia, and just immediately do the Grandpa Simpson, turn around and walk back out.
Suddenly something on the wall was super interesting, a nail sticking out or a chipped corner.
And then obviously as you're back outside, I would say in this instance you're, and my guess is I don't think Joel's with you. He's probably already headed off.
We probably sent him off to the skate park because I was planning on.
Imagine it's like a kindergarten where you leave your kids. So it's a skate park, and that's where we leave Joel.
Yeah.
He's safe there, we think.
So it'll be you and Will hanging out the front when Tori rocks up, probably blasting some music a bit like this.
I imagine we were probably talking about that book that Ashford told him to go find somewhere. He said demons. The one we already got said demons. What the?
Yeah, but these different demons.
Yeah.
Also, I think Will has gotten the idea in his head that what happens if Joel is in the skate in the empty pool thing and it starts to rain? He's not going to be able to get out of there, and it's going to turn back into a pool, and he's going to drown.
But yes, Tori, you rock up. And I imagine you badass walk your way over, because you're kind of feeling feeling good.
Tori's in a good mood. Yep.
Over to the two wasters sitting
walks-
outside.
yeah. He does indeed walk over to the two wasters, who I assume are sitting on like the grassy part of the, like near
Absolutely.
the parking lot. Classic fucking move. And says like, "Come on, we're going." Where do you think I've been all day? Come on, we're
Hi?
going.
Hi. Good to see you're alive. You
Was-
might be in the papers today for, failing.
So what?
Figured you'd dig that. I don't know. What are we doing? We're going? Were we going somewhere?
We're going to the lake.
I don't. Apparently, we're
So-
going to the lake.
The lake?
Yeah.
And in George's mind, she's thinking, like, that's where cool kids, like, that's where popular kids go to, like, swim and party,
exactly.
and, like, have their bonfire. Like, that is not where my
Are
people...
we getting
I don't go to
upgraded?
Yeah, like, I don't go to the fucking... Am I a sideshow? Like, what?
Well-
Why the lake? To
Yeah, what's at the lake?
swim? I don't...
Bertrand gave me a tip. There's something there that would be happy to meet me, and I don't want to go by myself.
And you trust that?
I paid him. There's no reason he'd lie.
When Tori says, I paid him, Will just goes, how did you pay him?
Like, I'm down, but this also
Yeah.
kind of feels like one of those situations where they're going to put us in danger and then save us mystically and put you in debt again. But, like, whatever.
She looks
Stacks
at
on
Will.
stacks. Let's get busy.
She looks at Will when he asks and says, "I asked a bank teller for $25,000."
Oh, ask the bank teller and... Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Never mind.
You robbed a fucking bank? She'll say
Yeah.
way too loud, probably.
Where do you think I've been today?
I don't know. Getting a manicure.
In jail?
Okay. Sick.
Don't-
And
Concern yourselves about it, okay? Just, we're going to the lake. Come with me. Stand around here talking to you losers openly far too long anyway.
Will, do we get in the car of someone who just robbed a bank?
I don't know. She's not being very nice.
I can
She
make
wants
I'm
you
not
she-
worried
I
about
can
that
make
part.
you get in the car.
Please don't. And she'll
Will-
get up
Will
and
stands up and gets in
begrudgingly
the
grab
car.
her bag like, "Ugh."
Will's like, smells like salt. I'm going to get in the car.
Someone smelling salty.
Yeah,
same.
the ocean. Why am I in the car? How did I get here?
And
Do you hear seagulls at a lake?
can you imagine if Tori was in a VTM setting? She'd have taken so many stains by this point. Just like
Dude, I kind of need to see that though. Like,
take a-
what if this group got into RP? Is all I'm saying.
It's a bad,
play a board game?
I'm a cleric.
bad person.
Oh wait, well, this is 1995. Hero Quest was out at this point, wasn't it? The board game.
95, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, it's 95.
Also, Dungeons and Dragons is like well into its second edition at this point.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's already Satan fodder.
think Warhammer Quest as well.
Yeah.
We could get deep
still
into
too
it.
niche with Warhammer, I think, for the kids.
Anyway,
We have to get
we're-
Cece to sit down for
in
an
the
extended
US
amount of time,
especially.
though, and like how?
We're going to the lake.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll probably begrudgingly like just go stand by your car like wilted flower, like okay, because the alternative is woofing eternally.
Eternal woofing.
I don't
Come
want
with
that,
me or
so
I'm gonna make you woof your name forever.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Hero Quest came out in like 1901 or something. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, just go stand by your car. I'm assuming it's got like, it's a newer car. You're rich. It's got like automatic locks and
Yeah,
shit.
you
like,
know it. Yeah.
I'd wait
It's
to
like
hear
it's-
that
it's got-
click and probably like
it's got air conditioning, okay?
leather seats.
Shit.
Of course it does. I'll probably is it a two-door? Is it like sporty? I don't imagine
no,
you'd
I
be the
think
type to
it's
give a
like
fuck what people look like getting into the back.
I think it's like a little bit more practical than that, just because I think that's the kind of car your parents would buy you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I was gonna
Right.
say I'd like pop the front seat forward and just shove Will in the back, but I'll just take the front. Shotgun.
You're small.
like-
You're fitting there.
I think like on the drive there's a little bit of conversation. You know, like
Mhm.
Tori's like, you know, I wanted you guys to come because you like understand this shit. You know, like all this power stuff.
I mean, do we? You seem to have erased your mysterious dead with Creepo, boy. You seem to be
I mean,
winning.
I mean, I can get you the same deal. If
I
that's
don't.
what you want. But everybody keeps saying being in debt to Ashford is safer for some reason.
I don't
Okay.
want. I mean, I don't think it's kind of like shit and chat. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't.
It's also been made pretty clear to me that none of these like 4 college roommate types, none of them are really vulnerable to what I can do. They have different ways to stop me from just telling them to do things. So I have
I
to
wonder-
play a little around that.
They gotta have a. I mean, not that I'm out to get them, but they gotta have a weakness. Why else are they getting teenagers to do their dirties? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you'd think so, right?
Like,
But that's part of why I want you to come to the lake with me. Because whatever's there, I think we can be friends.
You think Bertrand's got like your best interest in hand?
No, but I also think that he has no reason to lie to me, and I gave him the money that he asked for because. And
No,
I,
you're
he,
right.
He didn't really even have to chase me down. Like I got it done for him. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't do me a solid.
I mean, I got nothing else to do. Will, you feeling fiery?
Nope. Not really.
Oh man, Will can set shit on fire.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh my god, you were! Would you believe it that nothing hits anymore? Sobriety has been a wild ride.
I was about to say, you sure you're not high?
I don't think I can anymore.
I think. Oh, sorry. I was just like, yeah. I think there's a. I think there's like a point where George's like brain overloads, and she just forgets like too much like
Too much information.
too much information and panic and just like overwhelmed, and she's just like lots of information just bounces off her after a while. She's just like I don't know.
I think when she gets under a certain amount of stress, like when she's talking to the adults that are like giving her instructions and whatnot, or when we're finding all out about, you know, this Bella person and all about our powers and stuff, she kind of blacks out and forgets anyone else is in the room.
Yeah.
This is why she like interrogates like a psycho and then apologizes over and over. It's like she just kind of forgets anyone else is there. She's just like, oh, this is my only chance.
Well, listen, I've also been thinking, like, what are you gonna do once school's over? Like, now that you have these powers or whatever.
Like for
Like-
summer break.
No, like, once Ashford isn't your teacher anymore, like,
Oh shit, yeah. Wow, I have no idea. I just kind of assumed I'd Chef Jeff someone at some point.
You could do eating competitions, George. You'd be good at that.
Just seething glare in the rearview mirror, like, you fucking sideshow. I don't know. I mean, I didn't really like. She's gonna kind of like put her hand on her stomach, like soothing Chef Jeff. Like, I didn't really get anything that is advantageous in life. Like, I feel like your life is completely different for the rest of your life. Like, you can make anyone do anything, and like Will can incinerate shit. Like, I just eat stuff. I get. Well, I still haven't come to terms with the. Did I tell you all tentacles come out of my mouth?
can certainly talk about that. later. Sure.
Yeah, I haven't come to terms with that. So I don't know if it's me or if like I have a parasite. Like, am I taking a pet to college? You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah,
I go there.
I get what you're saying, but what about you, Will?
Mm.
You,
I mean, probably
you don't have-
college, MIT. Mm. Or
What
was
about
the-
you? Like,
that was the blandest answer I've ever heard. Me?
you've kind of got like unlimited options. Does that make it more daunting?
I was kind of thinking I might try and do something with these powers, you know? Like, I don't know what it is yet, but every other entity in town seems to be carving out its own little, you know, situation. I don't see why I couldn't do that. We've got all kinds of opportunity.
Remember to be careful about that, though, or someone like Ashford is probably going to come knock on your door and steal you away in a dark room or something.
I thought you had to be like all milk or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you have like a craving to pee on some territory, Tori? Tori?
No,
Tori.
No, not like that. I just mean like, you know, if we want to run something, we could very easily. I could make it happen.
But does that mean you're a manager or like a super manager?
I guess that depends what we're doing.
Word.
But I mean,
What about like a circus? He'd work for that.
Does Tori's car have tinted windows?
I think we've said before that it doesn't.
I think,
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
pretty sure it doesn't.
If I'm sticking to consistency, yeah. I
Oh,
think.
damn it. Okay, never mind then.
I guess what I'm trying to say is like we, and I say we, can do whatever we want, but we have to work together for it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
To decide
I think
what that is.
I mean, I'd like to not be in debt to a teacher in my high school.
Yeah,
That makes it hard to move on.
I've said already that Ashford's a problem.
Is he?
Well, I mean,
I'm having a hard time telling like who's a problem and who's not.
I think we get to decide who is or isn't based on what we think, right? Like, everybody's telling us what to do, and you know what? I fucking hate getting told what to do. So,
I feel
Maybe
that,
I'll
man.
tell-
We're either being
maybe-
told what to do or they're putting us in imminent danger and then mystical hot women show up. Am I supposed to depend on that my whole life?
all I'm saying is I'd like to be the one telling people what to do. And I want...
Not like high schoolers, though, right? Because this is just like
No,
the lamest shit.
no, and I mean, like, with you guys, like, helping, you know? Like, working together on something.
Dude, I
Without
just don't.
being in debt to any of these teachers or whatever.
What if we just like cleaned up QT?
I mean, cleaned up how?
I mean, the way that like Ashford and those old fucks talk, it's like there's a balance and some get to live and some don't, but I can't see the logic to who and what and where and why at all. Maybe we could figure that shit out. And then, you know, like, I don't give a shit about balance, but things sucking people's dreams shouldn't be okay, right? Like the saviors of the QT just eat everything. And we'll, like, burn it or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to go about it, I guess.
Will looks up from from looking into his lap and he goes,
Not really what I was thinking, but I mean, it's something.
I mean, I just don't have anything I really give a shit about other than, like, this is all I know. You know?
Okay, but like you don't want to be powerful, you don't want to be rich, you don't want to have a comfy life. We can make all that happen.
Eating
I
delicious, very
can't
well.
be inebriated anymore, so money has no value. I guess I could set my family up.
I mean, we can find something to get you inebriated. I'm sure there's some magic version.
I don't know.
Super
some-
booze.
Creature that could get past your immunity or whatever.
Maybe I just need to have a nice hot talk with the. You know, I'm
Could
like,
be.
From the back, you hear super booze.
yeah, well, super booze. I mean, what do you want to do? You seem like fucking stoked.
You mean me or Will? Sorry, I don't know.
You. Will's not stoked. Are you kidding me? What's happening back there?
I'm not stoked about anything.
I just see an ocean of potential laid out before me to do whatever I want. And I'm not just talking about QT. I'm talking about, like, anywhere. Anywhere we want. As far reaching as we want.
Oh, shit.
I can make anyone do anything.
Until we run into a milk bread. That you
Yeah,
can't.
but then we just make a deal.
Can't all be deal makers, though, right?
I
We gotta
literally
have, like,
just... I literally just did this at the bank. The bank manager was some kind of mirror thing, and all I had to do was say, I'll help you out a little bit, and then,
the bank?
yeah.
What isn't run by some squishy magical thing in this town? Jesus. Starting to wonder if our own parents aren't glowing at night.
How do you know they're not?
I don't know. I ain't about to crawl in that room.
And it is about at this point that we pull up to the, like, lake, like, parking
Just like that
area.
dead gravel stop. And
Yeah,
Will and
like,
I are still, like, bickering back and forth. Like, why would you even say that?
The rain on the car has gotten a little bit heavier. The mist is just a little bit thicker. As you pull up and park up, kind of like in this like the L shape of shacks that you were at quite a while ago at this point.
Yeah.
And
Back
yeah,
before we were supernaturally gifted. / cursed. / whatever.
slash,
Yeah.
you know,
Infested.
Yes.
good word. And you
George's tentacle parasite.
Get back in there.
you pull up and park up, and for a second, aside from probably some kind of like boppy little tune playing on the radio, all you can hear is like ding 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 of rain hitting the top of the car.
Drips.
Drips.
Tori turns
It's
to
like
key-
light rain.
Tori turns the key
Hmm?
and shuts off the car and opens the door, steps out into the rain.
I'll probably like just stay in the passenger seat and stare at the rain hitting the windshield like, Really?
Will's gonna look at Tori and see if the thing happens again when you got hit by water the last time he was in the car with you.
Oh, yeah.
oh, I wasn't here for that, so I wouldn't know to look.
Will,
Although I am looking at Tori with a "Are you fucking kidding me?" look. So if it happens,
Yeah, does anything happen, Sheepy?
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
Will's just like,
perplexed over your scaly shit.
And she says back into the car, like, "You guys coming or not?"
Will is like, because it's full down seat, right? Is it 2-door?
Yeah.
No, it's a Ford.
Yeah.
No, it's
Or
a
is it?
4-door.
Oh, okay.
It's a
So
four-door,
we're
yeah,
good
you
to-
have your own.
I was waiting. I was waiting for George to get out with to fold the seat so he could get out.
I'd
Okay.
be surprised if it was some like Land Rover looking kind of thing, you know, like
Oh yeah, I would. Oh my god, I can totally see that.
Like-
and the
like-
proper Land Rover as well.
It's the gay icon Jeep before it was a
Well,
gay icon.
yeah, yeah.
like 90s rich girl is
I have a
they,
Jeep.
They used to go around in those like big 4x4s, you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nothing like driving a tank. I think if there's like a pause, Tori will just be like, "Fine, stay here, you little bitches," and then like to leave.
Slam the
You know what I
door.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, all right,
If that-
don't come. Like I care.
I honestly
is,
probably would just sit there and wait to see where she goes, and then get out and follow.
She heads towards the lake. Like she's actually going. Like it's raining, and she's just like going towards the water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
Will's
out
coming
and
along.
Follow. Probably behind Will. Like I'd take the longest to get out. Like just be like.
Sure. We're just like, I don't want to get rained on, man. Come
Yeah.
on.
Okay. As
Said we weren't swimming.
as you are
I hope you appreciate that I'm just taking your prompt directly at face value, Suki, and I'm running at it.
Hey, you know, I appreciate it all the time. As you're going, as you get out, you know what? We should probably switch this for a second here. Yeah. As you get out of the car, the others do eventually get out and follow you as well. Where are you going? Are you going to the shack? Are you going towards the lake, to the pontoon, etc.? What's the general direction?
Nah, we're headed directly down to the edge of the water, like down towards the lake.
Okay.
We go in there.
As you get out and you start slowly walking towards the lake, the mist gets a bit thicker. The rain starts to get a bit heavier, and by the time you have essentially reached the water, the side of the water, it is raining heavily, and probably less for Georgia and for Will, but definitely for you, Tori. You can smell the sea. Like
I was just gonna ask if I smell anything.
Oh,
Do I just smell normal lake?
Oh yeah,
No,
George would.
George, you can smell the sea.
So it's like fucking sea, like just salt water,
salt
open ass
water.
You
ocean.
smell the hell out of that.
Which is funny because we're in Ohio, as you
Yeah,
said,
which
you
is
know what I mean?
not
Like-
near the
And-
water.
You'll
If
buy
anybody is not familiar with the area.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for anyone not familiar with the geography of the continental United States, we're nowhere near water.
and you'll buy it. Yeah, you're near water. It's a
Oh,
lake.
yeah,
Lakes.
It's a lake.
Yeah.
Like it's not seawater at all.
No.
And as you get closer, Tori, you start to feel this kind of sensation, this like a little buzz in the air, almost like it's like kind of static electricity on your skin. And when you are there for a second, looking over this lake, lightning just like smashes down, and it doesn't hit anything. It just like lightning starts to crackle. 1 bolt, 2 bolt, 3 bolts.
Just into the lake.
In and around the lake, kind of.
Do
yeah.
we see this as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay. At the moment I smell salt water, I would probably like say something like, "Are you doing your shit at us right now?"
Tori like shakes her head. She doesn't like turn to look at you while you're talking to her. She's like looking out across the lake where all these like lightning bolts are hitting, like looking a bit like, she's got like, this is a person who is usually 100% put together, and she's currently soaked by rain. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. You're probably just like a drenched rat in front of us. We probably unrecognizable, like makeup running, because
Yeah.
waterproof wasn't real in '95. Like that is
Yeah.
some Wet and Wild down your chin.
Yeah. All 3 of you are pretty.
Yeah. Oh, same with me. Yeah, the black
Yeah.
eyeliner, black
That
down my
black
face. Yeah,
eyeliner.
sorry. Oh
Will
yeah.
doesn't wear too much eyeliner; it would come off with the.
I wonder if Will would steam though. Anyways.
Yeah, like
that
the
would be
water,
fucking
like the water
dope.
hitting Will and just like.
I'm saying if your eye was
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, no, the eye was out. Yeah, but it would be cool if it happened anyway.
Noticing that Tori was I feel like Tori is the kind of person who isn't sitting there with a compact and checking herself all the time, but you can tell she is 100% aware of every fiber of her being and where it is placed. Every hair is in place. And seeing what I'm seeing right now, after like maybe half jokingly, half seriously being like, "Are you doing your salty shit at us right now?" I'd probably like put a hand back at Will and approach her and like reach out and put my hand on your shoulder and be like, "This isn't you right now."
No, this isn't me. Bertrand said something to be here that wanted to see me or like would like to meet me. So maybe it's something else.
I mean this in the best possible way. It sure as hell smells like you.
There's a moment of like I should quip, but she doesn't. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's a like I should
That's
smack
probably
you,
the
but
moment I know something's wrong.
yeah, like I should smack you, but I don't.
And
And
as
go ahead, Sheepy. Sorry.
as she says that, and you say, "This isn't me," you feel from the balls of your feet, like shimmering all the way up you, this kind of like electricity, static, like charge feeling,
Oh shit! This lightning's about to hit me.
leaving you with a compulsion. Like this isn't you. This is the best way to describe it is that sensation you have when you empower your words, when you fill them with that power that compels people, that orders people, takes root in your stomach, and essentially you find yourself saying a word that you don't recognize, which is I'm not 100%.
I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce it, but I'm looking at it right now. Emphanizomai.
And you say this out loud and I hear this?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact,
He like calls it out across the lake.
as she says it, it claps the sound of the rain and the lightning, and everything hits a complete silence, like deafening silence for a second. And then in the water, after a second or two, this little bulb of like grey something just pops out, like very, almost like a rock, and then starts to raise and starts to raise. You see these two like kind of like deep black bulbous eyes raise out of the lake and raise and raise. The full head comes out of the lake and it looks a little bit equine, but a lot more alien. It's got these huge like teeth, almost as big as you are, in this kind of like open maw. These little like kind of like
What?
these little fins, or as it keeps coming out of the lake, these little fins off its neck, and body, but it seems to be all neck as it keeps raising up.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna fall. I'd probably like and gasp and fall backwards in the muddy sand and start doing that scramble on all fours, just like no, 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 no. Because my experience with giant eyeballs is they end up inside of you, and I don't want that. Like I got my own giant eyeball to deal with.
Will manifests immediately.
Yes. And what you
Story waits.
what you see, Will, as your eye like comes out and you know, the
Yeah.
flakiness and everything and that power, through that eye you see this kind of like greeny blue like essence around this thing, but also layering the lake and your feet all around you.
Is it on me?
Well, you just fell over and started scrabbling backwards, so probably yeah.
It's kind of like permeating the ground and the lake and the creature itself. I would describe this as I would say one of these kind of like fang teeth things in its mouth is probably about as large as you are. So the head is like 3 or 4 times as large as you are. And after it comes out a little bit, it's kind of towering over you with like the rain coming down and the lightning cracking. The sound.
Does it look remotely like the Loch Ness Monster? Because Will is British, so he would know what the Loch Ness Monster is.
So in theory,
It sounds like a Kelpie. Would you have read about that?
So Will would know a Kelpie. I'll throw an image in the
A mythical Scottish water horse. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean, a little
Not-
bit. That's what
not
it sounded like. I was
quite.
trying to figure it out.
It's
Not
Garrett.
absolutely not a Kelpie.
So it has a little bit of a look of the Loch Ness Monster of Nessie. It is also in the Wandering in the QT Discord channel for.
Oh yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's a big. It's a big sea monster of some kind. I love it.
So
It's adorable.
you don't know this yet, but this is an Inkanyamba.
Oh.
that's
How can you
Scottish.
spell that for me, sheeps?
INKNYMBA.
That's not a Scottish thing.
Seeing as I'm dropping lore for you and guys and stuff, it is a legendary serpent that lives in lakes near Peter Maritzburg in South Africa. So it's kind of Zulu mythology.
It's a South Africa thing. Okay, cool. I've never heard of an Inkanyamba. That's awesome.
I had one more
Damn it.
question.
Where's my PA when I need her? She is South African.
One more question. So, just in terms of how big it is and how like one tooth is probably as big as me, does it look realistically like it fits in the lake it is emerging out of, or is it more like a?
If
If
you're judging by proportions, it looks like it should kind of take up if it has a
the
body,
whole lake.
But it depends what's underneath the lake, like what it is down there. Like it could be like a big body, or it could just be like a coiled serpent or something.
Because I was picturing the lake like a bowl of
Yeah.
a serpent, basically holding water. That's a big boy. Okay,
Basically a big basically a big eel.
it's a moray. Who made the moray joke? It's a moray.
Damn it! It was just a joke, Sheepy. You didn't have to incorporate it. How
did it
quick
for
do you
me.
work, man? It was 2 hours ago.
All right. So what's the play?
Okay. I'm just in the sand, like speechless. I think I'm letting Tori take the reins on this because it smells like her. I don't know. I'm terrified.
And the head lowers slightly and drifts very, very little bit towards you on the bank of the lake, and it says,
Oh.
"Welcome home, Lord."
What did it sound like to us?
To both of you, you hear what it says as well.
Oh, okay. So it's not like
Yeah, we don't hear like
No.
ha 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 ha.
you look so yummy. Incidentally, is the
Tasty.
translation.
Lord.
Oh, apologies. It said, "Welcome home, Lord."
Yeah, chat missed out.
There's a perk of an eyebrow, and she says, "Lord, are you talking to me?"
Yes, Lord. What is your command? And
Shut the fuck up.
it dips its head until it's almost it's like teeth, and it's the snout of its mouth is almost like touching the lake.
I don't have any commands for you, but I wanted to meet you.
What?
I have been waiting for you to manifest. Your arrival provoke me. Is it time for you to take your true form?
Oh shit, is it? Any vibes here, Sheepy? Like, can I any interesting?
You're definitely feeling like empowered. The salty rain that's hitting you is making your skin kind of like hum.
Okay, okay, the vibes are good. All right, got it. I think Tori replies with like there's a moment of silence where she's not sure exactly what to say, and then she just says, "How?"
Find the true source of your power inside.
And I think standing in this like salty rain, there's a moment of consideration again, this like long drawn out moment, and she just says, she looks to George and says, "I'm going for a swim. I'll be back. Wait for me, okay?"
Meow. Oh, the keys.
Throws her the car keys.
And the head of the Incanyamba, the neck slowly pulls back and dips in and like looks up to the heavens as it slowly pulls itself back into the lake and disappears underneath.
Tori kicks off her shoes and like wades into the water and then just like dives in and swims after it, basically.
I'm gonna turn to Will. Did that torch swim in the water?
Yeah, I'm not going in after her.
I don't know how to swim.
I do, but I'm still not going in.
You get that fucking lake and you find her.
I'm not going in there.
What if that thing just rain fucked her into the water?
I'm not going in there.
I'm gonna run up to the edge of the water and smack it with my hand. Tori!
Will's gonna grab the hood on George's sweater and just go, probably not a good idea.
Don't you just come out!
Who chooses to get out?
Will, as
Yep.
Leaving my friends freaking out on the bank. Yeah.
as you are watching Tori step in and then essentially like swim out and then go underwater, you see this kind of like misty essence that through your eye, it shifts from a kind of like bluey green, like kind of light, gentle color into a much more vibrant, like emerald green. Like almost looks like nuclear, kind of like glowing.
Okay.
If he
Oh,
drags
great.
me
It's
away, and I
giving off
probably,
Cherenkov radiation.
I was gonna say, if I notice his eye out, I'm probably, because if he drags me away, I'm gonna look up at him and fight him. I'm gonna like grab his shoulders and be like, "Oh shit! What do you see? What are you seeing? What do you see in the water? Is she still in there? Can you see her?"
Can I see her at all, or is it just like I imagine it doesn't change the opacity of the fucking water at all?
No.
No.
You see the kind of like misty essence,
Yeah.
the supernatural kind of like mist, but you don't see anything else.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and George, you remember how you could kind of like smell a little kind of salty air? Now it's literally just like you are standing on a beach somewhere. Like that's what it smells like. It smells like you're literally just standing next to the ocean.
The air is salt. You're in that salt mine in the meme. Like
I've been in a real salt mine. I licked the walls. It was salt. Salzburg, do it, guys. Anyways, I'd probably like coming back to myself and realizing that the lake of our hometown that we've all lived in since we were born presumptuously smells like the East Coast on a brisk day is freaking me out. And I'll probably kind of like be looking around like, is there like a fan or a weather machine or something? And then look at Will and be like, you don't smell anything odd right now?
He does now, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can smell the sea. You're looking.
So it's
at,
like permeated.
Yeah, no, it's quite noticeable now. Yeah.
I'm gonna get on all fours and like, you know when dogs are real scared of something but they want it really bad and they do that like little tippy toe thing up to it with their face? I'm gonna do that to the water, but I want to taste the lake water and see if it's salty.
Ugh.
But like, you know, like doing this kind of a reach where I'm like, is it salty?
Yes, it is salty, and I would say when you taste it, you get a flash of eyes, like just almost like for a split second, you find yourself back in that void and looking at the eye.
My eye.
It doesn't look exactly like the eye you saw. Like you get like this kind of like dark like void and a flash of like kind of serpentine eyes. Actually, it's not at all similar to the Incanyamba. Incanyamba did like these big bulbous black eyes. But you know, like a kind of like a snake's eyes or something along those lines.
I will
like
bet you one
this
thing.
one?
What?
I will bet you one thing. Out of all the scenes that Sheepy probably didn't expect to happen today, George on all fours trying to lick the lake water is probably one of them. Just throwing it out there.
It wasn't in the forefront of my thoughts of what could happen.
Oh my god! I
But
I
then
know you're
again,
not going to.
Neither was any of this bit, so you know.
I know you're not going to, but it would be hilarious if George just got a straw out and started to just suck up the lake.
To drink the damn lake. Not after what I just saw. After that flash, I'd probably do another like bust away from the lake, like fly backwards and scramble like,
20
not
seconds,
again!
20 seconds later, we hear this sound.
Just the empty straw that
Just the very bottom.
there's just like Tori and two worms bottom like
Tori flopping around like a landed fish. Sorry.
someday.
That was not a dignified picture, Elf. I'm sorry about that, but it was kind of funny.
So
How dare you?
Yeah, I'd probably fly back from the water and start just saying under my breath like not again, not again, not again, not again, and like scramble up Will's leg if I feel him behind me and be like, something's in there, something else is in there, something big is in there, something else in there, something really big is in there. Not again, not again, not again, and I'll start like scrambling with the keys and like going back to the car. Not again, not again, not again.
Ooh.
Nope, definitely not. No, absolutely. I'm getting in the car. No.
Question, Sheepy.
Mm-hmm.
My eye with the manifests and everything, does the water hiss when it hits it, or does it just run down as per normal?
Just runs down as normal.
Okay, I'm going to put my face in the water.
Okay.
That would have been
open-
great though if you were like a little steamer.
Yeah, exactly. I work in a sauna now. Will's gonna put his face in the water and open that eye
Okay.
and see if he sees anything at all under the sea, as it were.
In the darkness of the water, it's very murky and there's
Yeah,
very,
I realize that.
there's very little to see. You do, however, see a vague, small, kind of like green glow deep in the water.
I was gonna say my eye is also manifest, so
Yes,
if there's
as-
auras and stuff, yeah.
As you see it, kind of like going deeper down into the lake, you see. This is an interesting way to do it. You see a, kind of like the outline of the aura. Part of it like splits and like snakes out, and then another part splits and snakes out, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 more split and snake out. They like these long extended like fingers almost.
Or tentacles.
Or tentacles. then the base part, the core part itself starts to expand, starts to grow. And Tori, flashing back a little bit.
Will's
you
face
hear
come
us
out of the water.
slapping?
Will's face come out of the water and he walks to the car very rapidly.
Okay. Tori.
Me in the car locking the doors. Not today, bitch. Touch that water.
Tori, as you duck and swim down, you find yourself swimming down towards this kind of like... The water's cold, but it doesn't bother you. You're breathing. Like, you know, you're essentially taking in water, letting out water.
This is definitely not the first time that we've had her breathe water, however,
No.
so it's, yeah, that's not new to her.
But you sense almost like a warm core at the heart of the lake, which is
okay.
what you're swimming down towards. And you remember that sensation you had, the kind of like itchy skin where it got a little bit scaly and a little bit iffy. You feel that sensation now, except for like tingling all over your body.
Everywhere, yeah. Okay.
And as you're feeling that, as you're heading down towards this warm core, essentially you feel, the best way I can describe it is you feel like the heart of the ocean.
I mean, the way that you described the feeling of like her own power like welling up in her earlier, right? Like that's this whole thing where it's like it's compulsive, right? Like there's something that must be found, you know, like sought after. We are close enough to it now that we have to go for it.
And you whatever part of you that was holding back this kind of this core of power that you have lets go, and the sensation spreads across you, and it doesn't burn, but it warms you. It feels like, again, like last time, it feels like molten gold pulsing through your veins, and that itching turns into a full like stretching and moving sensation, and your neck starts to extend, your head starts to move, and you can feel on your shoulders a similar sensation of like stretching and moving as your other heads start to stretch and start to expand out, and the claws on the end of your like haunches start to extend and start to move. The tail starts to expand, starts to stretch out. The hindquarters, which are almost legs, they are part of the tail, part of the back end of your huge, like, scaly body just starts to expand out until you have, I think, about 11 of your heads have fully extended and expanded out, and you find yourself fully encompassing, fully filling out your body. Fully
That is not a
manifested.
sensation I can imagine or describe. So
Please flip your drama experience on your character sheets.
okay, hang on.
What? Bitch, what?
And replace it with Ursula.
Bitch not being a balanced milk bread anymore. That's for sure.
Dude, I think she's went full milk.
No, not
bread.
full yet.
So if you hit this,
Not
think
full
so.
yet.
Yeah, there we go.
Turn it.
Sorry, I flipped it, but
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't. There we
Getting
go.
close though.
and so instead of drama experience, please feed for the title of that card, put in the Hydra.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay. All right. The Hydra. All right. It's in there.
and we'll talk about the power tags and the weaknesses and stuff later. But very essentially, regeneration, strength, water, and essentially Lord of the Sea.
She is hydrated, everyone. Fully hydrated.
God damn it, Elf.
Bitch,
No,
shut up.
Fuck you, bye. Fuck
that
you.
that was butt prints, to be fair.
That is so, like, I picture all your like, gaggle is your heads in real life. Like, you were trained for this.
Would you allow me to embellish the end of this like little sequence?
Of course, yeah, dude, do your thing.
Oh,
JC, no worries.
embellish.
So, George and Will.
Mm-hmm.
We're the viewers of the embellishment. Please let us be the viewers.
With a crashing, water splaying everywhere, a large, kind of shadowed in the fog and in the rain and in the lightning, creature thing with many, many heads just crashes out of the water, out of the lake, onto the bank, like maybe like a little ways away down the lake from you, so not close to you.
We're in
We're
the
by the
car.
fucking car.
Well,
We're
then-
in it. We're totally that Jurassic Park scene,
Okay,
like,
then, yeah, you basically
He reacts to movement.
you basically see it crash out of the lake, and it is occasionally lit a bit better by lightning, but you can see the shadow of it in the mist, and it is like multi-headed, like big, kind of wide body and tail, like slaps into the water, sending the water like shooting up. It's not as big as the Incanyamba, but it is a lot bigger than you. And after it's there for a couple of seconds, the shadow in the mist shrinks a little bit,
Shut up.
compacts, until there is a person standing
standing on the
mist.
lake, though.
standing at the edge of the lake
On the like beach.
on the beach.
The aura of this person isn't recognizably Tori, even
I
when
would
it's
say-
in hydrated shape.
Yes,
form.
I would say close to. It's a bit more like as it shifts, the aura dulls a little bit, goes from like that like vibrant emerald to a slightly more kind of like sea green, not quite as like alarm bells kind of.
Okay, but Will has seen like regular people auras.
Yeah.
Has this now progressed towards the milk end of the spectrum?
Yeah, I'd say it's a lot less
Milkier.
Yeah.
and yeah, I would say that a couple of seconds pass and Tori.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Tori, you've managed to revert back into.
I
your
will
human
say
form.
I will say that there's no way any clothes survived turning into a fucking hydra. So she's probably naked.
Yeah.
Nah, but we left your shoes.
Oh my god, I love
It's
the
true.
idea of you coming up covered in fucking seaweed.
Yes.
I will say for the sake of it, you are covered in like seaweedy grass.
Yep,
type
that
of-
works. That works for me.
And
Because it's a lake, but you're not
I
from a lake.
notice-
You manifested the seaweed as well.
If I notice, like, I'm assuming the car's close enough to.
Before I
Yeah.
jump into the, what state is she in? Like,
yeah, what's
is,
your mental state?
is this like transcendent awesomeness? Is this like exhaustion? You know what I mean? Like, where are we at?
so
Idaho, isn't it?
I would say mentally, you feel quite exhausted. You feel like you've just been through like a marathon or something.
Uh-huh.
It's taken a lot out of you, but you do like the water maintained you. It gave you energy. It gave you that kind of like it gave you that trigger that let you kind of access the deeper part of whatever's now a part of you. I would say most likely you're feeling pretty empowered because you just turned into a fucking hydra. And Yeah.
As Tori, like regular looking Tori, is there anything different about her, like in normal form, quote unquote?
Yeah, like scars healed or anything like that.
Good point.
I was thinking, like, does she have new skin now?
No scars healed, no new. You feel a lot more, even though at the moment you're like a little bit exhausted, like mentally, physically you feel possibly better than you did when you were, swimming and, doing the races and stuff like that. You feel like kind of a little bit juiced, a little bit kind of, energetic in body. Past that, like, there's I would say when you were in the water and you went through that change, there was a little bit of kind of mental disconnect where you can't 100% remember everything. Like, it was all very confused, but you get the general idea of that you essentially shifted, bulked up,
Fucking sea monstered out.
multiple heads and all that type of thing.
Your eye
That's a
makeup is
weird
gonna take
sensation.
forever.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
No. I mean,
Is there anything like visibly different about her, like now?
Aside from the seaweed, not really.
Okay, all right.
You look exactly the same as you did before. You possibly feel, the kind of mentality of it now is down to you. I'd say possibly feel a bit more confident just purely because.
I was gonna say you
fucking
probably
hell.
feel hotter or
Yeah,
something. That confidence
I mean,
level.
that's kind of where I was like, what the fuck? Like, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like, and your skin is green or
No,
some
no.
shit.
That'd be sick.
Oh yeah, did we
Oh.
actually mention that you have snakes for hair now or whatever?
Yeah, just,
Your
you know,
eyes look like emeralds and they don't go back, so that's fun.
Mm,
Yeah, no literal emeralds as well, the actual rocks.
Tink, tink.
but so I think she just like, there's a moment where she stands there on the beach while you guys are like glued, horrified at the window. And,
Every 30 seconds, I hit the lock button on the doors. Just
Yeah, can't see anything because of the steam from
Yeah.
on the window.
And then I think she just walks towards the car, like, with the confidence of someone who is not only wrapped in seaweed.
Yeah.
By the way, and she just leaves their shoes on the beach. She just forgets entirely.
As you turn and you walk back to the car, like, the first couple of steps, there's like a sharp pain in your foot. As you look down, you've stepped on this little bit of kind of jagged rock or something that's sticking out of the ground. And there's like a little bit of blood kind of trickles out of your foot, and you kind of like lift up to take a look at it, and as you're looking at it, like, it just closes.
Oh shit!
Oh, that's new.
Like, literally, a little bit of blood trickles out and then back up to normal.
We have a tank. Next time
Dude.
Amit comes around, just
Yeah,
send
there's
him
the-
Like
forward.
11
the-
tanks.
There's the momentary pause of like looking at her foot, and then she just keeps going like towards the car.
And you walk to
She
the car.
gets so she gets to the driver's side door and she tries to open it. George.
It's locked.
Wait, that's a good thing. Do you have central locking, or does George have to reach over and put the thing down?
I mean, George has. The
I imagine
keys,
there's those
right?
buttons in the doors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
I'd probably beast motion, just do this slow. Oh.
Will's in the back seat, like trying to get
Tori
into
is Tori is like knife staring at you, and she just goes, "George, let me in."
I was gonna say prove it's you, but tink tink.
Opens the door.
That's good. And I'm gonna kind of cover my eyes and reach back and just smack around for Will's face.
Yeah.
Will
There's this
just
whole
Will just does that. It slaps the hand.
there's this whole like, why are you being so weird? And then she's like, oh right, I'm wearing nothing. I'm so fucking like straight confident that I don't even care.
I mean, you might have a plan on you if you
Will is saying this, looking
She
out
like
the window.
she closes the driver door again and like goes around to the back. She opens it up and there's like, you know, you got the like athletic pair of sweatpants or whatever. Like
yeah.
and
I imagine she had like
the
a whole
trunk.
sport kit back there.
Yeah, you have your
Yeah.
kind of like swim change of clothes, you know, like
Yeah, so it's just like in school colors, a pair of sweatpants and like one of those like longer sleeve like zip ups, you know.
I love the idea of Tori having a van just to be able to have a walk-in closet wherever she fucking goes.
Most
Closes-
females just already have that.
closes the
It's a way of life.
closes the back and goes back around to the driver's side. And like after having gotten all the seaweed off, obviously. And sits into the driver's seat. And looking at the others, she says like, that was weird.
Yeah.
But I feel good. I feel really good.
Which one of you?
What do you mean, which one of me? Me. There's only me.
Okay.
There
Thinking
were
back on seeing
many
the
of you,
11
though.
whipping heads in the shadow of that foggy thing, like, okay. One. Yep. Wait. When I licked the water, the weird serpenty eye that flashed, was it? I wouldn't know if it was a Leviathan eye, right? That's not what I would have, because we just saw it through the mist.
Yeah, you didn't really see the eyes of the.
Sick.
You're
feel
the Leviathan,
good.
aren't you, George?
To, like-
You're the Leviathan.
I meant, wait. I'm not Leviathan, I'm so sorry. I meant Hydra.
Yeah,
my
I was gonna say.
I still don't know all about the Leviathan yet, but the Hydra, sorry, that was my bad.
It could be like the kind of snaky looking eyes, you know, like
Serpenty.
yeah.
I don't know if I want to present any questions to Tori just yet. I'm just gonna ask her if she's okay to drive.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I can take you guys back home if you want.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Your shoes.
I have more. She just starts the car and like goes to leave, just leaves the shoes.
Yeah, car starts up and you reverse and you start.
In that moment, George thinks to herself, like, damn it, do we wear the same size?
I love this. I love this idea that like the shot is from the perspective of the shoes on the beach as the car like pulls
I was
away.
thinking the same
Yeah.
shit. Like the water, the shots from like
Yeah.
the water and the shoes
Yeah.
and just the car.
And as you start to drive away, a wave crashes onto the shore and pulls the shoes into the lake.
Oh, nice.
And I will say, as we start to fade away, Tori, you feel the energy, the power, start to leave you bit by bit as you get further away from the lake. And that sense of like confidence and safety and purpose kind of drop away a little bit as well. It's not to the point where you like pass out or anything like that, but the energy you've been feeling,
She gets like more exhausted as the drive goes on,
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of thing. Yeah. Okay.
and we will fade in to the bank as Cecilia steps over the threshold of the bank and into a dark world of mirrors. It looks quite a bit like a bank. Just as a sidebar, Mr. Knight like steps in with you, and then steps to the side and leans up against one of the mirrors folds his arms and says, "Don't worry, you've got this." The bank itself is laid out like the bank, except for covered in mirrors on the floor, on the ceiling, kind of moving away. So as you walk through, you see multiple images of yourself all over the place as well. There is also, at the very far back, there's a few like offices and things with just mirrors, you know, kind of around them. And towards the back, there's a few kind of like mirrored door looking things back there as well. In the center, there is a blacked out glass kind of cubicle. There.
God, this is like a just seeing multiple images of yourself is like that fucked up funhouse feeling
Daunting,
where you're
yeah.
like, fuck, I don't like this.
I know.
And
Kind of
you just-
disarming a little bit.
Yeah, and she wasn't expecting this, so she like takes a few steps and like looks around. And kind of takes in that first of all, this is all entirely made of mirrors, and second of all, there's not really something or someone here right now. So she takes like 3 steps inside. It's just like a bit wide-eyed, like hello? Is anyone here?
There's no reply.
I'm looking for the owner of the bank. Hello?
As you say that, the door on the blacked out center opens.
Is that meant to be like a sign that there's someone here? It's not, it's not polite to not greet someone at the door. All right. Yeah. And she like takes a few steps like towards the door and tries to get in like a line where you can like sort of look inside through the very, very tiny crack. It's like
As you like step forward towards the door, from the camera angle from behind you, we see a little ripple just behind your feet as a like glassy, watery bulb starts to raise out of the glass at your feet and take the form of a person behind you.
can my instinct react to that?
We'll find out next episode.
All right.
Fuck!
You're so lucky I was muted. I'm lucky I was muted. That was a very guttural, instinctual scream at you just then. Fuck that shit.
Katie
That
just
shit!
goes, ah!
I literally did. I was like, ah!
So,
What?
there you go, guys. That's the episode for today.
Yeah.
In developments I was not expecting to happen quite so soon, but there you go. Rich teenage girls, hard to control. they do their own shit.
Uncontrollable. That's what I would say. There ain't no control.
Yeah.
I mean, especially
Come
now.
on,
Are you
Sheepy.
kidding
didn't
me?
think you didn't think I had a plan for that mirror thing? Come on.
I was so expecting you to need help.
Dude,
I
what a
was,
fucking episode, everyone.
you know,
It was a
Yeah.
great episode.
Y'all RP'd your hearts out. Damn.
floor open for everyone if you'd like to talk about the episode before we go outros and whatnot.
I
Well,
want art of Tori's head on just a goldfish now.
Or just
With two
a
faces
goldfish
smushed on the
with
bowl
Tori's
behind
features.
I want to see. Yeah, I want to see the George and Will like car, like looking out of the car scene. Just a big,
Just a
like
bunch
a
of-
like a big shadow over it. Like
A bunch of mist and just a red red patch of eyes.
That's how I picture it. But to Tori, it feels like being in the fishbowl.
Yeah. I also
Yeah.
love that Tori is the first one to kind of like go to stage 2, as it were, because
stage 2, baby.
she uses her ability more than the rest of us fucking combined.
Yeah.
true.
She's definitely the most ballsy with it for sure. Like,
Oh
she
yeah,
already-
but also it's not overt.
true. But I feel like she like.
I mean,
I think all
it
of
is
us
a
have
little
gained
bit
a
now.
certain amount of confidence
I
with
mean-
our abilities, but she already had confidence. So it's like confidence
Yeah.
on confidence on confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, now it might be a little bit more over cheapy, but it was not before, which is why she could use it among people.
I mean,
if
look.
if George decides to swallow a sheep whole, people are gonna fucking notice if she does it in front of people.
Yeah.
super healing, strength, and the ability to tell people to do what you
Yeah.
want them to do is pretty.
And like when all else fails, you
You
can
know.
arguably turn into an 11-headed beast and consume them.
I mean,
Maybe?
in the right place. I think sheepy. The implication was that I can't do that if I'm not near the lake.
You have found your territory.
Yeah, the lake, good territory.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be a pond, I guess. You're like literally a kiddie pool.
Shut up.
I
That'd
am
be-
the
could be a
king.
puddle.
Adorable.
Splash, 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 splash.
We also found out that certain mythological creatures, beings, are subservient to the king of the sea.
Yeah,
my
the Lord
God.
of the Ocean. That's me.
True.
The
Tori,
Hydra.
Tori
Which
is
explains all the
Aquawoman.
water stuff.
Mm.
Like how everything water was related, and we would get like that tinge of saltwater smell or something like that. Like it wasn't just the stank of something gone bad.
Tori
Honestly, I
is
have so many
Aquawoman.
notes relating to that because there's been so many times where offhandedly Sheepy has said something along the lines of like you get a smell of the ocean or some hint of the ocean, even when Tori's not using her powers, when other things were happening.
It was Tori trying to establish her territory.
Oh fuck. Your piss smells like an ocean.
better than it smelling like piss, I guess.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
no,
a
that's
sounds like a
Fucking-
fair.
sounds like a great romantic country song.
At least don't smell
You
like
piss me like an
piss.
ocean, and I love the ocean.
It's about as good as it gets out there, kids. Mhm.
I'm semi glad, semi sad that you didn't come back to the lake anytime sooner. But before you started like really getting into your power. Because yeah, like the Nkanyamba's been there for a little while, and if it turned up, if you'd gone there earlier, it'd be like, yo, what up? You smell like my liege, but you know, I don't believe, you know, it'd be a lot more like aggressive than that, but
Oh, but she'd already kind of like practiced so much and shit. She smelled
yeah.
real.
yeah, she was like on the cusp. Like that's
Yeah.
why her skin went all scaly, because she was like.
I'm just
tapping
looking
into
at the
that power.
picture of it right now.
Tori got that. Tori got that ocean stank.
Yeah, like
I
she
like the smell of the ocean.
she was, and that's why the scaly skin went away, because she stepped into the clean water of the rain. It wasn't salty. It wasn't ocean. It washed away the.
There you go. Answers.
But is the lake salt water now?
I mean, her territory is salt water. Think of like the Mirror Bank or the
Oh,
or
okay.
the Egyptian
okay.
tomb,
Her presence makes it salty.
which really makes you wonder how well you're gonna do with the swim team now.
Oh fuck.
Oh shit.
One door opens, another one closes. Apparently.
No worries, darling. I'll be the new head.
Oh.
Oh,
no, I don't
shit.
think
Mm.
so. We'll see.
I sense rivalry.
But yeah, so well done, Tori and Elf. You managed to get.
I mean,
there.
I got there because you sent me there. I was just feeling ballsy, so I
mean,
just
but-
kept following all the.
I wouldn't have gone. I don't
Yeah.
think he sent you there. I wouldn't have gone.
See, the thing is like all of the choices Tori has made has led to her through a much more free path than a couple of the others who are a little bit more weighed down.
From the very beginning of like episode 2, it was like impulsive is on the character card.
Yeah.
We're gonna do impulsive shit. We're gonna choose to do things that other people, maybe smart people, wouldn't.
Yeah.
Or just scared people. I don't want to claim that.
Or smart and scared people.
Yeah.
And a little in denial people. But it does.
There's so many heads.
It does imply to everyone that there's like a further, deeper, like stage. Leviathan.
Yes.
The lake is inside of me.
Oh my god,
I
it'd be
have,
perfect.
like-
George, you could just swallow up a lake, and then whenever Tori needs to bring out the special, just take 2 fingers and stick it down your throat, and impromptu lake.
Puke a lake for her. Go swimming, bitch.
Hey Tori, we got a surprise for you.
Oh my god.
Technically speaking, if you went to like SeaWorld or something and like swallowed an entire like SeaWorld thing and held it in your stomach, and then swallowed Tori and held Tori in your stomach, you could be like a Pokeball.
Yeah. Tori, I choose
could
you.
save the whales.
I could save the whales.
I choose you.
God, yeah. Like going by the mechanics and everything, technically speaking, you could swallow like part of the ocean and then store like endangered, or like you could store endangered species in you.
I could swallow. I mean that. Bella said I could swallow a town, so presumably I could swallow
She
SeaWorld.
said 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she didn't
go save the
specify
whales,
how far
bitch.
apart
That's what
these
I'm into
towns are.
now.
So it might be one town at one end, and 4 miles away there's another town. So it might be the intervening distance as well.
Shit.
Flash forward to George going into the mining industry, and she's like, "Oh, you want that mountain moved? Okay, yeah. Give me a sec."
I'm like the game Astroneer. Resource that way.
George can swallow 2 towns in Montana, though, so it's like 64 billion miles in between the 2 towns.
And 7 people.
Yeah, 7 guys and a dog, I think.
Also, the word emphanizomai, which I'm not sure how to say it myself. I sent to Elf in
I translated it. I looked up what it meant, and it means "come forth" or like "show yourself."
It means like appear.
Yeah.
In what?
In Greek.
In Greek.
Oh, in Greek. Oh,
Hydra.
I see.
Oh, yep.
At least it
Fucking
wasn't.
dope.
At least it wasn't Accio Hydra.
I like how William was like, William wants a pet, and like Tori is the pet. Like it wasn't a
Tori
pet situation.
contains the pet. George
Yeah.
has a fucking housemaid, and Cece's got the best dog in the world, and Will has a shitty older brother.
Who could be his pet?
Nope.
But yeah, like the Incanyamba, if you guys have gone to look at it, it is it is alien and freaky as hell.
The Incanyamba is
smile.
awesome.
I as I said, like when we were starting the QT, like one of the things I wanted to do is reach out deep and see what like out of pocket. I didn't want the typical like werewolves and everything. So this is why we have the Alps. It's why we have
You did good.
the Menangangal and the Incanyamba.
You know what's really weird though is I listen to a lot of like historical podcasts and like mythology podcasts and stuff like that. And ever since you've mentioned them here, now I notice them pop everywhere. But I think it's these words I would have never, like the Menangangal, I would have never even noticed that word because I've been like, that's not pronounceable for my American mouth. But now I've heard about it and like I've actually like learned some shit about it. It's kind of cool, but I never would have before.
There's a couple of like I think East Asian films made with Manangangals in them.
Yes.
There's a really, really creepy one where this woman's head like comes off the top of her shoulders and like she's flying around with her intestines and spine.
It's called Katie. It's called the frequency illusion. Is when you first hear something and then
I knew there was a name to it. Yeah.
yeah, and then you're like, oh my god, I just heard that name for the first time 4 days ago, and now it's everywhere.
Yep, that happens to me if I ever get like a different, like the 3 times in my life I've gotten a car. Suddenly I see that car
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, the frequency illusion.
But yeah, any more thoughts or feelings? Obviously, Cece's going through her wizarding trials.
Well, I think we all got
Obviously.
our feelings out in the chat while that was happening.
Yeah.
What a manipulative piece of grooming shit.
No, Knight is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He is.
We need to save Cece.
Like it's funny because I did something very similar to Syrinx in the last show, except for in a very different way.
That's
A very different way.
Yeah, very very different
Like
way.
I, as a
but-
player, knew what I was getting into.
yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
So I don't have any.
Oh, and you
false
didn't in the last
preconceptions.
one? Oh, how did you
Oh.
feel? Betrayal?
Yo, I felt fucking horrible. No,
Fucking slander and betrayal.
Well, the problem with that one is there were multiple twists to the betrayal.
I was not expecting it. But then again, it was like the first time I had Sheepy as a GM, so
Now Syrinx is just like, I know what to expect. Like, I'm gonna get stabbed in the back. and-
I'm like, gaslighting piece of shit, teacher. All right, I'll sign up willingly.
I mean, like, Cece's been such a fucking gem through the show so far. Just
Bless her heart.
such an interesting character, and it's funny because you see instances where you're like, Cece, no, that's the wrong choice. Don't do that. That's bad. But you're also like,
All right, I'll do that.
yeah, you're also like, it makes perfect sense for her to do this though. It's really frustrating.
Here it comes.
And there she goes.
Bad
Right in-
teenage choices by the eager to please teenager. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing her deal with bank manager.
Yes.
That's a way to put it. Deal with. I don't know.
Honestly,
I
I thought the bank manager would have been gone. You know what I mean? You'd show
It's-
up to the bank and it would be like, oh, there's
True.
nothing.
Not,
I was thinking of that, but then I was like, it's not fast enough.
yeah,
Like,
it's not
Yeah.
enough time. And yeah, I was fully expecting a fight to break out between Tori and the bank manager, and Tori was just like, "Yo, let's make a deal."
For being such a volatile person, she's very calm and collected in those situations for sure.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
she
it's one of
probably
those
gets from her
things.
parents.
It's one of those things where it's like reestablish control immediately, right? Like
Yeah.
we tried the direct approach. This is an approach that will calm things down enough that I'm in charge again,
It
right?
it shows like exactly how she became the queen bee.
Yes.
You know, because it's like every time there's a challenge to her power, she analyzes it, adjusts to it, and makes it work for her. Makes way too much sense, unfortunately, because it's like, oh yeah, I'll just suggest this thing that is going to tempt this person who is about to like fight me or
Well, and also like I didn't shake your hand. There's no necessarily not any binding agreement here. Like I'll happily betray you if that's what it comes to.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. Yeah.
yeah, I like because she did the same thing with Gray, where she's like, is this gonna work? I'm just gonna, he thinks I'm a
I'll just try.
Yeah,
You know,
The
like,
fact that
we'll
she
see.
tried again, right?
I'm just a cheeky teenage girl, like pushing my luck. Like
Tee-hee.
it's cute. So yeah, let's hit the outros and then we'll do the outro and then we'll head off. So I think we should start with the hydromatic, also known as Tori, and
sounds like
Distracted Elf.
that sounds like a vacuum cleaner.
The
Oh no,
hydromatic.
that's George. That's when they do the fusion dance and they fuse together.
Yeah.
Then you got the hydromatic.
Hi, I am Distracted Elf. You can find me at twitch.tv/DistractedElf or on Twitter at DistractedElf. upcoming, I mean, I'm doing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons Online hardcore stuff still, and then Street Fighter 6 is coming out on the 2nd of June, and I'll probably be playing that. So that's what I'm up to. Go ahead, LZT.
Yeah, I'm LZT. You can't find me anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Sad.
Found you.
Uh,
There he is.
I'm wherever
Gotcha.
Lima Zulu Tango is a thing, and if there's not, then I'm not there. I have my like last week of school coming up. The next 3. Oh wait, it's Monday today, so Wednesday this week, and then I have an exam next week, and then I'm done for the semester. And I will be
Hell
relaunching.
yeah.
I'm gonna be relaunching my web shop for the leatherworking because it's been down for a while.
The
And
moose
now-
knuckle.
Now yeah, exactly, long nose leather, and we're gonna be relaunching it probably next week, and then there'll be like a starting out sale and stuff like that, and people can get cool leather stuff, and I can pay my bills over summer when I don't get any student aid.
Sweet.
That's all from me.
Good luck.
Who's next?
Hot potato.
You're supposed to pick.
Yeah,
Choose that.
I don't get that.
17 episodes of choosing on the outro.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Katie?
Okay.
I don't know.
Hey there, everyone. My name's CK, Classic Katie. It's wonderful to see you today. I had a blast. 11 notes in, 11 pages. Today was heavy. A lot of conversation, but it was good and it was vital. I kept thinking to myself, like, do I take too many notes? No, I do not. No such thing. It's vital shit. I don't know. It wasn't superfluous conversation or anything. So that was a lot. And my hand hurts and my thumb's numb. So I'm going to put something on that now. I hope you had a good time. If you did, you should definitely check out the website and or the Patreon, but mostly the Patreon because the money gets more shows like this. And if you don't, then, you know, Sheepy likes to claim that he's not going to make any more shows, but really he's just going to go poor making more shows. So maybe help us out. You guys are the best. Searings, sup, girl?
Sup, girl. Hey, I'm Syrinx. You can find me as such on Twitter and Instagram. The entire episode, you may have been wondering, hey, maybe it's the lighting that's making, like, if you noticed, one of my arms is, like, red, like, darker than the other. And you may think, like, oh, it's the lighting that did that. Like, funny lighting. No. I burned only one of my arms today in the sun. And so now I have one complete white arm and one red
Yeah.
Oh,
darker arm.
honey.
Style choice.
Oh, Lord.
And I was looking at it like the entire episode going like, hi, it looks like the lighting is just like, you know, it's like half a bit in the
Yes,
shadow.
it's a
But I'm
shadow.
like, no.
That's fantastic.
So
Wear
there you go.
sunscreen, kids.
Wear sunscreen, kids, please. I'll throw it back to Sheepy after that.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sheepdog, and this is the QT. This is the Wandering Inn. As has been said, we have a website. Go check it out if you want to check out the shows. It's a great place to go and look at all of the shows and everything. And additionally, the Patreon, as has been mentioned, is the place to help fund the shows. As things currently stand, we are funded on the Monday show. I would like to run 2 live shows and some recorded shows. For example, we have recorded 12 episodes of a show called... Oh, let me pull it up again. Of a show called The Duacroma Outlook. It's in production now and should be ready in a few months.
Egg.
Egg. I'll let you know precisely closer to the time when it's going to be released, and that will be out on the YouTube. So don't forget to go and subscribe to the YouTube and be ready for that show to come out. And if you're on the YouTube, then great. Hey, what's up? Click that subscribe button if you haven't already. But yeah, one thing I will say is because it's an additional show to the Monday show, and it's all like recorded, it's not live and everything. Not looking forward to the paycheck, to the paycheck for all the cast, because we, as you saw, like we have quite a lot of cast and stuff. So no guilt, no pressure or anything that happens.
Patreon.
If you, I was gonna say, if you start the Duacroma Outlook and you're enjoying it and you want to see more stuff like that, go check out the Patreon. Give a thought to that type of thing. But also, we will be moving over to YouTube as time goes on, possibly after the QT ends, which, you know, or the first season of the QT ends. There's I know. There's allowance for season 2 and stuff like that. So.
That's the first thing you ever said about that.
Oh shit! Maybe more QT.
So
Getting called out.
there's a heavy possibility of
The
season
after
2.
high school season.
No, possibly with our tempo, that's still in high school.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hey, we like to take our time. It's fine. But yeah, Joel spinoff.
Joel spinoff.
Oh my god,
I'll
though.
make that a Patreon goal. Joel spinoff, one-man show.
Joel and Casey as the drowned.
Oh.
If he is the drowned.
Yeah, if he is, but it would be like it's the wet and dry show.
You know what? I will give this away because I don't know how many people picked it up or whatever. But do you remember the intro to the Drowned Man when I did the intro a couple of episodes back?
Yes.
I don't remember what you said 10 minutes ago. So no.
Did you recognize the song that was playing in that intro along with the rain? And also when the shadow walked past you and Joel talking, this was playing.
No, I did not.
Yeah. You may recognize that song. It's only played once during the show.
Yeah.
The very first scene with Casey in it.
It was the last scene in the first
Or the
episode.
last one? Yeah, that's what I mean.
I just
First
just
episode.
Casey has been like such a big part, considering he hasn't been on much. It's like, hey,
Look,
it's
interactions
17,
with interactions with Casey set George's entire character for me. I'm like, I know exactly who George is just based on the way she's talking to this person.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so as I said, please check out the Patreon, give a thought, and we are moving over to YouTube. We're going to be live streaming there instead of on Twitch. I will still live stream the videos after they've live streamed on YouTube here, but it's essentially my plan is to turn off affiliation and all that type of thing because it's just I want to focus on YouTube. So with that, there will be the opportunity for things like super chat and that type of thing. So if you're not super interested in if you're not super interested in a monthly thing like Patreon, I understand a lot of people aren't. There'll be opportunities to just drop like $5 during the show, and then maybe I can read them out at the end. Read out super chats and stuff, little comments and things like that should be fun. So yeah. But we'll see that when we get there. For now, I will say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back next week with more QT, and I hope to see you then.
Bye.
Bye.